The platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club on the precipice of an enormous weekend of Australian sim racing. Nice to have you along wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed the world. This is Disruptive Live's Friday Night Motorsport, and this is the entree 6 from 6, ladies and gentlemen, for the GT1 Civil War. Back to sprint racing this week, back to the United Kingdom, to Oulton Park, and it is a tight and narrow little course, particularly for these cars. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's the shortest course we visit on the tour, because as you'll see when we bring you the track map in just a moment, there's the overhead shot for you. The reality of the matter is we're on the full course here tonight, so we're running about 4.3 kilometres around per lap. But yes, it is a typical British circuit in the sense that, yes, they don't go too overboard with regards to the width of the bitumen in which we're playing on. Zach Caban alongside Joe Baldwin, and for the interim, Andrew Neal's here as well. No, he left some time between last night and tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't stayed overnight. Some of us may as well have. But that's another story. There's the circuit. There's the weather conditions. We are lining up for Heat 1, so I can tell you that it's 11:27 local service time. 8 km/h winds in a pretty well northerly, northwesterly direction. 24 degrees the ambient, 33 on track, cloudy conditions and 45% humidity, but so far it is dry. Heat 1 will be 15 minutes. Heat 2 will be 25. Good to have Andrew Dyson back on the grid. And as we have a look at the championship standings, I can tell you that Adam Funslow is on top of the points table at the moment on the back of Dyso burning his first drop round last week, 415. Gap then back to Thomas Sinner, 398, 366 for Adam Lavis. Aston Martin, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first of the Chevs. Dougie Gowan's in fifth, 342. Brendan Grosh, Martin Davis. Then Darren Lobb, Richard Brookfield and Greg Heaney make up the top 10. 112 points separates first and 10th. 6 Astons and 4 Chevs in the top 10 at the moment. Grid for race 1. We're a bit light on tonight, gentlemen. A bit light on, only 16, 8 rows, invert top 10 at the end of this first race. Andrew Dyson, Daniel Emmons front row. Thorn, we're going to be delighted. Look at that. Third alongside Dylan Walker, Brendan Grosh and Adam Funslow from the third row. Fourth row, Guy Leach, Adam Lavis. Fifth row, Travis Azapati, Martin Davis. Sixth row, Thomas Sinner and Richard Brookfield. Seventh row, Josh Zuno. Actually, hang on. Something's going on here. I've got 2 numbers. No. Thorn's in race control. That'll be what that is. Why does he keep popping up in the bloody starting order halfway along and we've got 2 guys in third on my timing screen? I've got no idea why that keeps happening, but Christ, it's frustrating. Okay, so as a result of all that, Dylan Walker, Brendan Grosh, Adam Funslow. I'm going to read Joe's screen rather than the SDK timing screen. That'll actually be far more beneficial. Adam Funslow, Guy Leach from 3. Lavis and Azapati from 4. Davis and Sinner from 5. And from 6, it's going to be, if you don't mind over the page, please, Trucker.
There we go.
6th row, Brookfield, Zuno. 7th row, Pianazzola and Heaney. And then Golan and Baz from the back end of the field. Good to see that Jacob Miller has slid back into the comments section after departing here at about 4 o'clock this morning. Jordan Pianazzola and I chewed the fat quite literally last night, ladies and gentlemen. What a good chinwag we had. We are ready to rock and roll. Andrew Neal, good evening to you. Is this a category that you'd like to have a bit more of a steer of if time permitted?
I'm not sure. I was in there listening to the cars before, and that Corvette sounds magnificent, doesn't it? So maybe just on the sound alone.
Yeah, that can be what lures people in. We've talked about the sound of cars before as one of the alluring factors as part of the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. We're off, we're racing. First one of the night, 3-race program. Indycar from the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve on the Ile Notre Dame to follow. We're safely through the first quarter, although Richard Brookfield is being left behind. So no, we didn't make it through completely cleanly, and we have no David Baz either. So we're down to 15 already. Brookfield in trouble early on. A lot of positional gains down further in the back of the field. 1 position for Sinner, 2 for Pianazzola, 2 for Golan. 1 lost by Dyson, Davis and Brookfield's lost 4. Everybody else remains where they started, except for Andrew Dyson's teammate, Daniel Edmonds, who's gone +1 in the early stages, got the whole shot, got the lead. And now the onus will be on Dyson to see if he can find a safe way through to restore order. But again, we'll highlight this a couple of times, Joe. I don't feel as though this is the easiest circuit to execute overtaking manoeuvres.
No, it's certainly not. Even in like V's and Skippies and cars like that, this place is hard enough, let alone trying to do it in a thundering GT1. So they're quite big and clumsome, really, and you get them on a tight little track like this, it's... Yeah, I mean, Daniel Edmonds, he's really in a great position at the moment. Even with Daiso breathing down his neck, it's about minimising mistakes here when you've got track position. It's going to be the second race with the invert, which is probably going to be a bit of a spicy one.
Indeed. All right. Adam Funslow holding on to the championship lead at the moment by 5 points as we set off the top of the broadcast tonight. I dare say that Dyson will look to restore order this evening. He's sitting fifth at the moment as Adam Funslow. Back then to Travis Azzopardi in eighth. Thomas Sinner is ninth. Martin Davis currently holds the invert pole position. Jordan Pianozola will have something to say about that, I'm sure, as he sits 11th right now and only half a second away. Great to have everybody tuning in. Let's have a look at a replay. This was the off-track excursion for Brookfield. Oh, former El Presidente Josh Suno caught up in that, but I reckon there's no case to answer for on Josh's part. Let's just have a look at this. Did Brookfield move across, or who made the first move across? Can we see if we've got a better angle of that, please, Joe? I'm interested to see who went left and who went right, because it looks as though they've just overlapped. And that's where the contact was inevitable. Oh, yeah, Brookfield's moved across. Easy. Yeah. I think he saw Zuno coming, tried to close the door, but it was too late. So no harm, no foul there for Josh. And he presses on. Travis Azzopardi sits 8th at the moment. And no doubt, Neely, you've got a keen eye on your two teammates out there at the moment. Greg Heaney and also Travis Azzopardi.
Yeah, I'd like to see Travis sitting pretty nicely in 8th, and I'd like to see Greg get up the order slightly. I think you can do it.
Indeed. 3 minutes gone. 1 minute 30 around about the benchmark times here. So Dyson and Edmonds have already taken off on their third lap. 1 minute 29.997 for Dyson and 998 for Edmonds, if you can believe that or not. Rodney Gollan gets 10 seconds for the contact on Greg Heaney on the opening lap as well. And meanwhile, let's just highlight a couple of things here for you. This is Greg, but that's not the angle we were looking for. This is out along the infield, or the outfield, I should say, the extension of the circuit, the full-length track. And Gollan went through on the inside. But yeah, that's an there's obviously been contact somewhere else, Joe, I would imagine. Didn't look like there was anything there to write home about. What I will say, 129.997 and 998 for the two boys goes to show how evenly matched they are when they're both in the server, both Daniel Evans and Andrew Dyson. And we're looking at a DPR 1-2. Brendan Grosh sitting down there in 5th at the moment, with Momentum and Idlek also represented in the top 5. Through they come once more. Dyson chases Edmonds. Edmonds, it's an interesting situation, this, because Dyson can sit second and take the championship lead back, but at the same time, we know what a racer he is. We know that he'll want to try and find a way by. He'll try and unsettle his teammate here as they make their way through at the right hand. In comes Travis Azzopardi to pit lane at this point in time. So that's not ideal for Trav, especially in an invert top 10 situation. Martin Davis holds on to 10th at the moment. Pianozola's got himself up into 9th as part of the invert. And we're 5 minutes in. So I'm sitting here rambling on, and I'm trying to remember where I was up to with the sequence of boxes that we had to tick, boys. As far as tonight's concerned, there will be a wheel spin at some point for MtnMen. There will be an update of the championship points from both Formula V and the Porsche Cup. And, of course, there'll be full rolling coverage, live exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube of the Indycar. We'll go around the grounds to cover off the AFL and the NRL happening tonight as well. As far as this race is concerned, I think the maths are pretty straightforward. We're lapping in the 1 minute 29s at the moment, and it's the high 29s. So in all likeliness, we're not going any further than 10 laps. 90 seconds, times that by 2, 180, that's 3 minutes. 3 times 5 is 15. There's your distance. That's your track time allocation for this race. And 2 times 5 is 10. So hopefully I'm on the money there with that analysis. No further action, net code Richard Brookfield, avoidable contact Josh Zuno. And I would argue, boys, and you probably know the wheelings and dealings of race control far better than I do, after 6.5 years. Greg Heaney off the road too, by the way, but he gets back on. I would hazard a guess that there's no further action purely because, well, the net code shows that Richard Brookfield was making the move across and he ended up being the sacrificial lamb that suffered the consequences in all of that. Had it been the other way around, they may have had a further look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if there was a bit of contact that had put Josh off the track, then it would have been a very different story through race control.
Indeed. The big news day, ladies and gentlemen. Massive news day. Thorn Weggett hating the net code at the moment. Race control not busy enough to the point where Thorn's able to slide into the comment section. Keeping Neely's seat warm, actually, quite fairly, quite truthfully. Daniel Edmonds, Andrew Dyson, Dylan Walker, Adam Funslow, Brendan Grosh, top 5 right now. Massive news day in Australian motorsport, ladies and gentlemen. I might come back to that a little bit later on. If you've been following my socials, you know how much fun I'm having with that at the moment. And interestingly enough, there's people out there that decide to encourage me to keep going in a situation where I don't need encouragement. But I appreciate the moral support regardless. Round they come, onto the main straight. This is Brendan Grosh in 5th spot at the moment. Going along okay, chasing Adam Funslow. Most positions gained so far, Jordan Pianazzola, who did the double last night in the Porsche Open Cup. He's up 4 spots and staring down an invert front row in 9th right now. And nice to see him finally be able to turn his week around nearly, because I tell you what, he couldn't take a trick in the V, ending up getting shunted on the back straight there at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in spectacular fashion in a race that Joe Baldwin was in the thick of.
That was an awesome trick. That was a triple backflip, double invert with a pike. And a wall ride to go with it. Tony Hawk would have been proud.
Absolutely, he would have been. But he couldn't take a trick before that. The Audi and he did not cooperate at Le Mans. They didn't get along. Then obviously he had trouble in the supercar as well, which really frustrated him considering it was his home circuit. So he finally got to turn around to the Porsche, and hopefully he'll make hay while the sun shines if he gets a front row start for race 2 here in the invert. And there will be a splash and dash, obviously, in the invert top 10 feature race as well, ladies and gentlemen. Same procedure as always, the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. So, Neely, I'm not sure. Are we allowed to disclose the reason for your presence at the moment? No?
No. I'm just playing around with it.
Okay, copy that. Because I was more curious, because obviously I wanted to shine a light on the fact that, you know, you're not normally here on a Friday night, and we take our jobs very seriously. So it requires some dedication and some unpaid hours, volunteering behind the scenes. P3 meatball, yes, it was for Dylan Walker. So now, how has that happened? More to the point. And that's ruined his race just about. Back out in 11th now. Josh Zuno now into the invert pole position, and Jordan Pianazzola moves up to 7th, so it's getting better for him. Guy Leach is up the road. Guy Leach is up the road. Here it is. Look at this on replay. Bang! Guy Leach is gone. Bang! Into the tyres. Guy Leach's race is done. Another one bites the dust. I'm not sure how many times I can use those words or use that tune without having to pay the people at Queen royalties. It's been getting a fairly good run of late. I'm going to have to do some research. Otherwise, I'm going to have to find another song and another pack of lyrics to go with. I'm not sure. Wowee. That's unlucky for Guy Leach. But more to the point, how did Dylan Walker get the mechanical meatball? We're none the wiser as to that at the moment.
Yeah, I'm looking and I can't actually see anything. Where he's gone off track or anything.
Unbelievable. It's a very bizarre situation. Guy Leach, we've seen that mechanical meatball flag's explanatory.
There you go. So he's collected the tyres on the first chicane. So,
and they are savage. Real
That
savage.
chicane is rough.
Yeah. Okay, so nearly different, steering the conversation in a different direction now, right? We know how much you're really not and looking forward to Monday night at the same time. Not looking forward to it because of the circuit, looking forward to it because as soon as you get through with it, it's done and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So where does Oulton Park stack up? Is it in the Indianapolis column or is it in a column of circuits you actually like?
I actually don't mind Oulton Park. I mean, I think it's a little bit tight for race cars. It's probably good for like a half-size go-kart.
That's it.
But it puts up a lot of fun.
Oh, brilliant. I love it. So, we watch Andrew Dyson now rocking and rolling here. And he's chasing Daniel Edmonds. But again, just to illustrate how difficult it is to find clear air here and find a way by, Daniel Edmonds has not given him a sniff. Has not presented him with an opportunity to have a crack yet. So their teammates are heading back to the start-finish line. We've got 2 laps to go. And also, whoa, Andrew Dyson. Last time through, fastest lap of the race. And look at them, they're on the limit out of turn 1. 1:29.540 last time through, but he lost 0.3 that last time round, 1:30.117. It's interesting here, right? Already, gentlemen, we are seeing just how savage these cars are on their tyres. The pace drop-off already is one of the main contributing factors as to why we're only going to go 10 laps. There was an outside chance if we kept up with the 29s, we might have shaved enough time, maybe 2 or 3 seconds off the clock to get an 11th lap. It's not going to happen.
Aston Cup tonight, it certainly is around here.
Yeah, and well, they make a good point. I mean, the top 9 are all Astons at the moment. Richard Brookfield recovering into 10th. First place to the Chevs. Rodney Gollan and Greg Heaney, the only others that are on the circuit aboard a Chev at the moment. Guy Leach's departure was the only saving grace for Chev in the top 5 prior to his spin and crash. 1 lap to go at the line. So, yes. And that's the thing as well. If this was another 2 manufacturer series that we know about very well, boys, and it's at the forefront of a big weekend of sim racing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you could imagine that the P word would have already been used once or twice.
Oh, that dirty word.
Yeah.
Oh, that or air restrictors or whatever you want. To be fair, when it comes to Will Brown, like, I think that's an incredible. I was in the supercars. For anybody who's not aware, that he's been running all season with a 1 mil undersized air restrictor, and it's almost unforgivable even by the team, let alone supercars, for supplying the part to start with. The story behind the part, I understand, it was sent to the team to be used at a like a sponsor day or a promo day or something, and they just never ever fitted the updated part. Why supercars never gave him one or whatever, and he's run 8 rounds of the season with a 1 mil undersized air restrictor. So
it's ridiculous.
Is it fair to give him 1 mil oversized for the rest of the season?
Could you imagine the uproar if it was 1 mil the other way?
Oh God, they'd be filthy, wouldn't they?
And it wouldn't just be supercars that'd be filthy, it'd be everyone in the paddock.
Yes.
Throwing shade at them. Last couple of corners here, gentlemen. Let's bring this baby home. Daniel Edmonds stole the lead off his teammate in the opening stages of the opening lap and has not looked back. Welcome to the 5th row for the start of race 2. Daniel Edmonds gets yet another win in Disruptive Labs Friday Night Motorsport and GSRC GT1 Civil War action for you. Very nicely done. Just having a look at what that means for the championship. Well, he missed the first 4 rounds, so it means bugger all, really. 103 points last week, but in the absence of a few people ahead of him, he should climb the roster a little bit more tonight. Big dramas in the chat. That was not Team Orders. No. Hello, Philip Worley. Oh, look at him throwing some shade the way of his team leader, Andrew Dyson, and also Daniel Edmonds. How good. Let's be perfectly honest about a couple of things here, right? Andrew Neil, when you're looking at Andrew Dyson, and he's got 4 weeks here and he's been first, second, first. I don't think he's going to be too filthy with a second, especially considering he's already burnt 1 drop round and it's a 0. He's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone has their good tracks and their bad tracks, and second is still an admirable effort out there. So,
don't forget, folks, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the other side of the GT1 to bring you Friday Night Motorsport's main course and round 6 of the Disruptive Labs Road to Indy series, and then the post-race show follows that. Although I dare say we'll be doing our best not to emulate the feats of last night, where the post-race show went longer than all 5 races combined. We had a very good chit-chat in here last night, and we hope you enjoyed it if you stayed with us for the distance, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot to look forward to tonight. The NRL already underway. The AFL about to get underway, of course. Fremantle and Adelaide. And here we've got race 2 of the evening for you on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. This is the 3rd sprint round of the season. Oulton Park, the venue. Dylan Walker, Richard Brookfield, front row. Martin Davis, Jordan Pianozola, second row. Thomas Sinner, Adam Lavis, third row. Brendan Grosh, Adam Funslow, fourth row. Andrew Dyson, Daniel Edmonds from 5. We've progressed to 11:58 local server time. 5 km/h winds in a northwesterly direction. 24 degrees the ambient. 33 on track still. Overcast conditions and 53% humidity. 6th row, Rodney Golan, Josh Suno. 7th row, Travis Azapati, Greg Heaney, the recovering Guy Leach from row number 8. Right, who's the tip, boys? Quickly. Joe.
Oh, God. Brookfield. It's going to be so hard to pass around here. I don't know how the guys are going to go getting up to the lead. But then again, I think I remember saying that a few weeks ago, and Dyson made me look like an idiot. So I'm going to call Dyson.
Oh. Adam Thumbs over the outside of Adam Lavis. The gloves are off already. My goodness. Hairy stuff trying to get through turn 1. On the run down to turn number 3. That long sweeping left-hander as they take off around the back of the circuit. Great start, Dylan Walker. Good start, Richard Brookfield and Thorn Waggett. Sinner up 2 spots. Grosh up 3, off goes Martin Davis. And Adam Lavis under threat there because Andrew Dyson's already up on his inside. Dyson's up 3 spots already. Edmonds has only been able to go +1 so far. Lavis and Funslow still side by side. Big send from Lavis, 2 deep. Trouble off the road. Loses out to Golan and Azapati and Leach. Costly for Mav. Who would have you been hedging your bets on, Andrew Neil? I mean, obviously you can't place a bet now technically, you know, once the race is underway. But who would have you been backing?
No, I think if you have a look at it, I reckon Dyson's going to give it a fair old crack. He's going to come back wanting to get back up to the top. So we'll see where they end.
And the longer Daniel Edmonds takes to get around Adam Funslow, who is the man between Dyson and Edmonds at the moment, the better this works out for Andrew Dyson. Great start from him, up 3 spots. Edmonds up 2. Guy Leach up 4 spots, so watch him try and redeem some ground here in this second race. 1 lap gone, 1 minute 30 lap time, so let me think about it. 16, I'm saying probably 17 laps for this race, boys. 17 is where the goalpost will be with this one. Edmonds has been told to hold position, says Philip Worley.
We have a CBS tonight.
We do indeed. We do indeed. So always the case in a second sprint race of the evening. There will be a compulsory splash and dash. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, no, Jordan's gone. The good luck run has ended. Buried.
After last night, he probably fell asleep at the wheel.
Well, that's true, yeah. I probably need to wear some of the blame for this one, actually. Oh, how good. So, yes.
Oh, why?
He might have, Daniel Evans might have been told to hold position, but Jordan was unable to do so. And as you said, Trucker, once you get out on the marbles, complete another passenger.
Yeah, you get wide out there, and you don't have to be far wide on the apex of that corner to put you in trouble, especially with these cars, big weight, big power, big speed. You get wider there, and you run out of bitumen very fast. And yeah, you get into the grass here, and there's you can see that Armco going around. It's you've only got slightly more hope than you do around Adelaide of not banging the wall.
That's it. Bulldogs Rabbitohs with the second game in the NRL tonight. In the first game, have a look at this for a turn-up. The Dolphins, 22, have defeated Manly 0 at Brookvale. And yes, they've held Manly, the home team, to a duck egg. My goodness. Martin Davis, no further action due to netcode again. Oh, tick netcode off your bingo card twice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's proving to be a more tedious issue than ever before on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Whoa, off goes Guy Leach again. His second incident of the night.
Off
that
to the
one
pub.
could be terminal. What did you say, Joe? Off to the pub?
He's off to the pub.
I'm not sure if he's a fan of warm beer, but that's all he'll get over there. Guy Leach on pit road. He's towed. Will he be able to get back out there and salvage something?
Daiso seems to have come up against a bit of a roadblock now. We've got there's a mandatory pit stop tonight. If I was a betting man and I was in Daiso's shoes, I would probably, if the guys up the front there don't duck to the pits now, I would be. Try and get himself a bit of clear air so that he can hold a pace advantage so he doesn't have to overtake on track, which is so difficult at a place like Oulton Park. We can see it here now. We know the talent he's got, even though he's got Groshy, Senna and Brookfield in front of him. Dylan Walker's pulling away. He's 2.7 seconds ahead at the moment. So, with Dylan Walker out there, smashing the laps, he's going to make the race his own the way he's going. Daiso's got to do something different because he's been held up. So I would pit if I was Daiso.
Yeah, that's fair. Get out of the traffic, try and find some clear air. Guy Leach is still sitting on the tow rope, so if he can get the fast repair and get back out there, he should be good to just drive through the checkered flag, provided that he doesn't have another incident. Neely, from your standpoint, agree or disagree with what Trucker was saying?
Absolutely, I would agree. You can see that he's getting a little bit frustrated there at the back, being held up by the traffic. A few light flashes in there, so if you can get into the pits, feel up, he'll come out in nice clear air and be able to use his pace.
At least it's not a relentless GT3 stripe light. Remember Sandown, everyone? Ooh.
That was Christmas,
Walker,
wasn't
it? Yeah. Walker, Brookfield, Weggett, Sinner, and Grosh, the top 5.
I vote GT3s.
Colin and Lavis, the top 10. Go for it, Joe.
I vote GT3, night race, Oran Park in the rain next season.
Why not? Why not? We've already done GT4 at the Island, although that was in the dry, but in the dark. That was an experience.
There goes Groshy.
So Grosh goes in. Grosh pulls the trigger and says, if no one's ready to zig, I'll zag. And everybody else stays out on the racetrack right now. Oh, Rodney Gollan's off the right. He's lost out to Adam Lavis and Travis has a party. Jordan Pianazzola's dropped back down to 13th. Grosh and Leach still on the lane. That's a long stay for Leach. I dare say that you were right, Joe, and he's gone to the pub, and that'll only encourage him to do so. A 15-second penalty for the contact with Josh Suno. Whoa. What about that for a save from Rodney Gollan? My goodness.
Yeah, that's your classic tank slapper.
And Philip Worley, again, on the radio to the boys, the three of them from DPR, saying Grosh was told to pit and get out of the way. That's fair. Funslow now has a crack at Sinner. Clear air. Watch this for a wild ride and hairy ride, ladies and gentlemen. Grass. Oh,
Watch the wheel work. Watch the wheel work.
So often you become a passenger when you end up on the grass. He's done really well to jag that back. Go and buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, Dyson's got Tommy Sinner in his crosshairs now. Such a difficult place to pass here. Like even in the V's, this is one of those tracks that's just, it's not easy. Great track. Like it's a lot of fun when you get it right and you get a flow around here. That hairpin that leads around onto the back as Funslow's headed to pit lane. I tell you what, oh, no, I reckon he got it arrested. I thought he was on his way to a black flag there for a second.
He's done well to save that, if that is the case. Adam Funslow, Travis Azzopardi, Martin Davis. A critical lap for them. Pianazzola continues on. Zuno continues on. And, of course, Walker, Brookfield, Leggett. So, Guy Leach's second incident has clearly also caught Josh Zuno up. I'm not sure if we've got a replay of that handy, Joe, but when we saw Guy, we saw him parked and, as you said, off to the pub. So let's see if we've got the ability to go back and have a look at that, because he copped a 15-second penalty for contact with Zuno. But how has that happened, more to the point? Let's have a look. Oh, no, it's happened. Yeah, no. So there's Leach coming undone. There. Lavis is coming through. And that's, yeah, okay. So this the incident with Josh has happened before the incident that's put him out of the race.
Another
lap one, Thorn Weggett says, thank you.
Lap one.
Yeah, so this was obviously a few laps into the piece. That was the end of lap 2, or mid part of lap 2. So it's happened only 45 seconds earlier or so. This will explain it. Lap 1.
Oh, yes. We did see this.
Yeah. So there. Oh, yeah, there it is. So I must admit, I was looking at what was going on up the front, but Zuno getting left behind. Yeah, that's disappointing for him. But at least he's still running in 10th at the moment. Admittedly, he does still have to stop, so that will hamper his progress as they make their way around once more. 9.5, nearly 10 minutes gone. Off goes Josh Zuno again. And I dare say on his lonesome this time. He had no one for company at that point. Yep, there he is, parked up. Box full of neutrals. He's not going anywhere. Uh-oh. Now, if this was the aforementioned Real World Series, and he would be parked there, as he still is, that'd be safety car, boards and flags. They wouldn't let you stay there. They would throw the safety car. But he is parked there at the moment, and that says to me that something's come up and he's had to bail out, and he just hasn't had a chance to Alt F4 it. Strange one. But
just making sure he's got the sponsors on show.
Yeah. Skeletonal Racing saying impressive commentators curse there, Zach. Yeah, it was. Although, oh no, he's back going. He's back. So whatever's going on there, I'm not sure. Maybe something's come up and he's just had to quickly bail. That's a really strange situation. Was it a tech issue? Did he have a box full of neutrals? I don't know. We'll find out. And yes, you cannot park there. Absolutely. However, we stay green, and that's good. But we didn't. He didn't get back going until such time as these guys had all gone through that point of the circuit. So that would have been under yellow. So that would have taken out one of the key overtaking opportunities on this circuit. For another lap. And as we've already said, oh, Brookfield's gone. Richard Brookfield is gone. Adam Lavis, Daniel Edmonds, Andrew Dyson, Tom Weggett, all the beneficiaries of this.
Oh, Lockler is. Oh, Dyson's missed. They all missed him.
He's flick spun it and driven it back onto the racetrack.
You'll get a cut track slowdown for that too.
Yeah, he would have, absolutely, just to add insult to injury. Zuno again showing off the road. He certainly did. As a party out of the race, Guy Leach as well. Now, what's happened to Trav? Trav's parked up and done. In the meanwhile, there's Jordan Pianazzola in 9th. I want to come back to Skeletonal's comments. I'm actually really impressed with the effort that Bangladesh have put in. It'll be an embarrassing reality check for the Australians if Bangladesh go on and win this thing. Travis Azzopardi's just gone for the escape road, so same as everybody. So there's something going on, because Zuno's pulled up unexpectedly, and he's now showing a lap and a bit down as a result. As a party's just driven off onto the escape road. Richard Brookfield's coming to pit lane to get a new set of tyres, no doubt, after he flat spotted the first set. Dylan Walker, meanwhile, leads the race by 7 seconds on Andrew Dyson. 7 seconds! Jesus!
Here's the first actual clean pass I think that Dyso's had in about 8 laps. He's gotten by Sonny. Nice move too. Nice, clean, up the inside.
Yeah.
And he needed that. So we are currently... So Dylan's 7 seconds ahead and we're just past the halfway mark. Okay. Can this guy pull a rabbit out of a hat and peel 7 seconds and a pass in what's that, 8 minutes?
12 minutes, so 8 laps. 8 laps. I knew where you were going, Joe. I got you. 17 laps the journey, 25
Sorry, I've got
minutes.
Flat batteries in my zaculator. Sorry.
Oh, you can tick that off your bingo card as well, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to clean up your bingo cards tonight. Don't worry about that. Oh dear, how good. And watch this space with regards to the bingo cards. I'm reliably informed as well. Now, Andrew Dyson, it'd be a remarkable effort. It's already 6.6 and it's already a 129.426, so he's already set the fastest lap of the race. That would have been a great source of frustration, no doubt, Andrew, the fact that he was caught behind, he was in a jam, no way through for so long. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive he is in trying to reel in Dylan Walker from this point.
It was interesting that he didn't duck into the pits earlier on and create that clean air, but he's got his strategy. Perhaps he's waiting for the fuel burn so he can have a good, accurate kind of calculation there and take as little as possible at the end of the race, but we'll have to wait and see.
And this is the other thing as well, boys. When you look at Daniel Edmonds, he's got back to 6th spot. He hasn't stopped yet either. So maybe you're right. Adam Funslow, who went for the stop early, Brendan Grosh, who went for the stop early, they may be the big beneficiaries in the long run here.
I guess by pitting late, you only got to deal with these guys once. Yeah,
True.
Dyson might have looked at it and thought, if I pit early, it's going to put me behind like the guys running at the back end of the 10. So, take the pain at the beginning of the race or the end of the race. And he's through now, he's got clear air, so he's made an idiot of me once this season, so he may as well do it again. And he's pulled a second and a half in 2 minutes?
Yep, and it's down to 5.7 already. So the guy is hooked up. He's got that thing on rails right now as they make their way around the back section of the circuit once more. 9.5 minutes to go.
Regardless, if he finishes in second now tonight, he wraps up the overall because 2 seconds
that's right. Correct.
a 10th and a first.
Correct. Absolutely. Skeletonal Racing, I heard the new point spreadsheet thingy that's coming was trained off data provided by the Zaculator. Not true. not true. Josh Suno will be able to verify that when he joins us for a chat a little bit later on.
With input from AASA?
Look at Joe throwing bait so early on a Friday night. If we want to talk the politics of the day, I'm more than happy to. And I will at some point. I am coming back to that because fair income, they deserve every uppercut they're getting at the moment. That is a complete and utter disgrace what's going on there, and it's been brewing for a while, but people have finally woken up and cottoned on to the fact that what I've been saying for nearly 3 years might have actually been half on the money, Genuine disdain for certain individuals, yes, okay, that's added a little bit of fuel to my fire, but again, having been in the industry for 20 years, I've got a fair grasp of what's going on, and I called out the incompetence back in 2023, and I've had no reason to suggest that I might have been off the mark there, and the recent events, everything that's unfolded the last 16 days, has more than well and truly verified my stance on the situation. And the sooner, as I said to you boys off air, the key stakeholders in the industry that do business with these Muppets, they've got the hammer, the nails and the coffin right there in front of them at the moment. Think long and hard before they decide what to do with it, but make a wise decision. And do it quickly. Now, but we'll come back to that. There's plenty more. I can update everybody on the events of today when we get to the the intermission of this particular evening of coverage on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Geez, I'm fired up now, Joe. Thank you. I needed that. Dyson, second spot. Thornweg at third. Sorry. Jesus, that's annoying me. Daniel Evans third, Thomas Sinner fourth, Adam Lavis, Rodney Gollan. Greg Heaney's off the road and drops down behind Funslow, Grosh and Pianazzola. Got to do something about that. We can't keep going with Thornwegett's name appearing randomly in the running order on the totem pole on our SDK timing screen.
We got to get into. Whoa, Gregory!
I'm not sure I can keep doing that. Dylan Walker to pit lane. That was a good save in the end from Greg, but not before he lost 2 spots. Dyson and Edmonds restore order at the front of this race, but the margin is 3.8, and I'm not sure anybody's going to reel that in. Dylan Walker is the one we're keeping an eye on because he has the advantage, and now the onus is on Dyson to go like a scalded cat, Andrew Neil, to see if he can reel him in. But then reeling him in is one thing, getting past a completely different ball game. If we've still got Andrew Neil, that is.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. No, that's all right.
Distracted by butterflies again.
Well, yeah, today alone, Motorsport Australia acquired 1 marquee event and 1 category. 1 more than what they already had out of, the corridors of northeastern Victoria. So, yes, it has been... All that started to hit the socials at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So, suffice to say, whilst I'm sitting here trying to enjoy the cricket and watch Bangladesh actually tear Australia to shreds and rip us a new one, I was preoccupied, and I'm sitting here trying to stay across all the developments and talk to my people who have been very, very good sources for information the last couple of weeks. It's been well researched, well discussed. We hit the ground running with everything that's been going on. It's been enormous the last couple of weeks. In comes Andrew Dyson now. In comes Daniel Edmonds now. Top 2 on the lane. That doesn't yet cleanse the field. Jordan Pianazzola, the only one left to stop. Will that be this time by? You would imagine with these guys running the tank empty that it will be. Let's keep an eye on him. Out goes Andrew Dyson. Out goes Andrew Dyson. Walker's going to go through, but what's the advantage going to be? Walker's going to go through. It's about 2.2 seconds at the moment. Dyson's still got to get back up to speed. Let's have a look at this. He can at least see. He can sight Dylan Walker at the moment. The margin is 2 seconds. He's taken 5 seconds out in less than 5 laps. He's got 4.5 minutes or 4 laps to reel in 2.1. And his fastest lap is 0.6 faster than Dylan Walker's fastest lap of the race so far. My goodness. Pianazzola did go to pit lane. 6.25 seconds. He rejoins in 10th. This race is on.
Edmonds to third.
Have a look at the pit times for the DPR team. They've got a well calculated field strategy with about 1.5 seconds less than the rest of the field.
7.97 and 6.2 for the top 2, and 6.08 for Daniel Edmonds, the quickest of the lot. But what Daniel's downfall will be is the traffic that he got caught in the early part of that race, because he's now, 4 seconds down the road, 5 seconds down the road from Dyson. So Edmonds is looking to consolidate third. Dyson with a second and potentially a first. That would potentially end up trumping Edmonds. Plus, he's got the pole position to fall back on as well. But he needs to get by Dylan Walker. The margin is now 1.4. So he's taken half a second now. That's exactly what he needed to do. He took the half a second out. It's half a second lap he's got to reel in. But then he's got to find a way to make an overtake and make it stick. Easier said than done around here, but he's doing everything right to set us up for a grandstand conclusion. And the question is, can Dylan Walker and Momentum Racing hold on and keep the dominant force and the dominant team of this championship at bay and snatch one out from under their fingertips? 2.5 to go and all eyes on the clock. I'm coming back to I haven't forgotten about the cricket. Someone mentioned the cricket. I'm coming back to that when we go around the grounds a little bit later on. Just make sure I actually do that, boys. Please.
The what?
What a day that was. Bat and ball sport. Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, I know who I'm talking to. Sorry, Joe. Yes, no, that's yes. Dylan Walker leads it with 2.5 to go. They'll see. They won't see the white flag this time by the line. It'll be the next time by the line. Thornberg watching on from race control, hoping that he isn't left to adjudicate on anything that might unfold here. In fact, he's had a relatively quiet night in race control. Only 1 or 2 incidents to really adjudicate on. A couple of net codes have helped him out.
Oh, Dyso was wide there. He nearly threw it away.
But the margin is 1.07. The margin is 1.07. Again, faster.
4
that
tenths.
time round. 4 tenths of a second. It needs to be 5. He probably wants to be within striking distance at the start of the final lap. And Dylan Walker would be keeping an eye on the relative. Wouldn't he be sweating bullets at the moment? Can he hold on here and withstand the pressure that's about to come his way? Fascinating scenario unfolding here. Terrific fight back from Dyson on a track that is up in the upper echelons of difficulty when it comes to working your way through the field in an invert situation. On the extreme side of difficulty. And he's there within striking distance. He's got it under a second. For the first time tonight, he's got it under a second. Zuno off the road again. Running the... Whoa. Dirty tyres. Dirty tyres. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
That was rough.
Very. And Zuno is limping around to the finish line of this one.
He'd be playing the Benny Hill theme in his head at the moment.
No, that's right. Walker has got 0.6 of a second. Dyson is throwing everything at this. Last lap, white flag in the air. One more time around. Let's do it. At Oulton Park in the United Kingdom. We're right on board with Dyson. The margin is 0.48 of a second. Walker cannot afford to cough or slip or trip.
Oh, he's done it!
Oh, he's done it! He's done just that! The one thing he couldn't afford to do! And Andrew Dyson snatches victory from the jaws of defeat! Can you believe that? The pressure was too much! He saw the relative, he saw the advantage evaporate! And he couldn't finish the job! Dylan Walker gets back onto the racetrack in fifth position behind Adam Funso, who moves to 4th.
It's not going to give Dyso the overall.
No, because Daniel Evans has got the second.
Yes.
Because Daniel Evans has got the second. And that's the point, Joe. Dyso to get round on has needed Dylan Walker to stay there. And it's right. It's going to be a DPR 1, 2, 3. The comms curse is off the chart tonight. And it's normally not me. It's normally my producer and director. But I've got something to do with it tonight. I don't know why. There's something in the water. Probably because I'm fired up and coming in off the wrong run. Last turn, checkered flag. Another race victory for DPR Racing and Andrew Dyson, and the team sweep the night again. In GSRC GT1 Civil War action. Live, exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube on a Friday night. What about that? Oh, wouldn't Dylan Walker be kicking himself? He got back to 5th behind Adam Funslow. Brendan Grosh was 3rd, Funslow 4th, Walker 5th, Sinner Maverick. That's, of course, our good mate Adam Lavis, our broadcast coordinator. Richard Brookfield. So Joe put the kiss of death on Rich, because when I asked for a tip at the start, he said Brookfield. So I can't be blamed for that one.
Don't tell Brookfield.
No, Martin Davis and John Bianazzola in the top 10. Dolan Heaney, Zuno as a party, and Leach as a party, and Leach, of course, non-finishes in all of that. Zuno a lap, 3 laps down, actually, in the end. But at least he'll be classified on 75%. Let's have a look at it again, Joe. Dylan Walker. The car just snapped sideways.
Yeah, just as he went in, like he was headed for the apex with it. And it looked like just the rear broke loose a little bit and just too much of an overcorrection. And yeah, way it went on him, like really, really unfortunate. We'll have a look in car. This might tell us. Look down. The rear just broke loose. There's no reason for that. That's just, I would say, the 5H1T luck. That's, I feel really bad for Dylan. That was, I don't know. I haven't seen a car doesn't really appear to be a reason for it to have broken loose like that. That just, just rotten luck.
It is horrible bad luck for Dylan Walker, who was going so well. He did everything right. He did what he needed to do. Recovered from his own incident in Heat 1 to finish 10th to get the invert pole. Next minute, he's right there.
Next minute.
Exactly. He can reach out and touch the checkered flag, Joe.
He could. Look, that's absolutely snatching defeat from the jaws of victory for Dylan. Just absolutely heartbreaking, that one. So, I'm sure he's probably slouched down in the chair at the moment.
Without doubt.
He'll be heartbroken by that one. I would be.
I'd be filthy. Dyson Edmonds Grosh 1, 2, 3 for DPR. So they'll again leave here as the team to beat in this series, but not without a little bit of luck falling their way. That's not how you want to win it. I think Dyso's already verified that, but he'll take it on the back of not being here last week. Funslow in for 4th, so the championship lead will go back to Dyson. Walker, Sinner, Lavis, Brookfield, Davis and Pianazzola. Winning margin 3.1 in the end. And that was all the hard work done there. He is, in fact, kicking himself, yes. Very good. 3.128. All that hard work was done by Dyso in the early part of the race, Andrew Neil. He was able to just carve his way through the field a little bit better, a little bit slicker than what Daniel Edmonds was able to do so. And unfortunately for Edmonds, he was never going to be able to overturn that deficit once he found clear air.
Absolutely. No matter what car Dyso gets in, he's just a masterclass. It's just, he drives faultlessly every time.
He's a weapon. There's no doubt about that. An absolute gun. But this guy's a gun operator as well. He got a race win tonight. Daniel Edmonds slides into the commentary box to say hello to us. Crazy way to finish the night. Challenging second race for you, though, mate. Talk us through that, because, I mean, we could talk about the first race all night long, and we will, but let's focus on the difficult part of the night, and that was the invert top 10 on a circuit where overtaking opportunities come at a premium. Your teammate just had a little bit of a better run of the mill there, trying to get his way through to the front.
Yeah, it's a bit hard in a gate track like this, but we come through pretty good. I tried a few outside moves and they didn't work, so it sort of put me back a little bit, and then that was about it really. I was just that little second and a half back, and just he'd get through and then I'd catch the next car, and that was about how it stayed. And then over fuel saved in the last stint, and got a bit lucky to get P2.
Indeed. Now, let's have a chat about a couple of things here, because Philip Worley, I don't know whether he was throwing shade or just giving you guys some curry whilst you're out there having a steer, but he said there might have been some team orders going on, but by the looks of it, even if Dyso wanted to beat you in race 1, he wouldn't have been able to do so. You held tough, you held strong, and the job was done in the first couple of corners, mate. You got the whole shot, and that proved to be the difference.
Yeah, I just put him on deafen and just drove. Not going to listen to that team order stuff. No, just kidding. It's it was funny. We I asked if we wanted to do a little team orders thing, but we decided against it. So got the whole shot on him.
Yeah,
his start wasn't what we expected. We're both a bit slow off the line. I think we didn't expect the green to be so early, and then it stuck on the outside, and it was pretty good. Put one on the G rating King, so that was pretty nice. Stay
there, Daniel. It's interesting, isn't it, Dyso, that last week we kind of thought, well, okay, Daiso's not here, and it later became clearer why you weren't, because we had Daniel in here having a chat with us, and I said, please explain, where's your teammate? I assume you've been drafted in to, fly the flag and make sure the team stays dominant at the top end of the leaderboard. And that ended up being an assignment that he handled with consummate ease, right? But doesn't it come back to bite you on the proverbial when he goes and trumps the boss in the first race of the following week when you're back on deck?
Yeah, a couple of things there. Yes, definitely. We did not draft him in to try and keep the flag flown for us last week. I just happened to be away. Second one, yes, definitely. I am absolutely team boss over at DPR. Everyone is my minion, and that's the way it's always going to be.
I love it.
No, it was all good. It was a good race. That's what I'm here for. The start caught us out. I'm going to blame it on banging into the limiter in second gear. But no, it was. Once he got there, there was no passing again. That's for sure. So it was good.
Yeah. Guy Leach copped a 15-second penalty in that race, as you may have seen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that was with the contact with Josh Zuno. It amounted to very little because Leach, of course, ended up not finishing the race. So I'm not sure what you can do with that. DNF plus 15 seconds just doesn't make sense, does it? So, Daiso, the fact that you weren't here last week, you were legitimately away. It wasn't a case of I'm getting bored with these things?
No, little work function where I don't know, we went out to a little place where there's electric go-karts, and I thought it was going to be nonsense, but naturally I went out there and absolutely dominated and came away as the fastest employee. So, in actual fact, I was pretty slow, but I lucked into a W, so we take that. But no, I was genuinely out doing something.
Yeah. Nearly said to us earlier, just before you got into the booth, that no matter what you jump behind the wheel of, you're quick, and you seem to be one of the benchmark operators that we look towards to see where the goalposts are. But it seems to me, based on your previous comment, that we could put right on lawnmowers in the server and you'd have a crack.
I'd have a go, but based on how I went last Friday night in these little electric things, I probably wouldn't do any good. I couldn't work out what was going on, but no, I'd definitely have a go, that's for sure, like always.
Indeed. From your standpoint, okay, so I'll come back to Daniel in a moment, but from your standpoint, race one, couldn't do much about him, but team 1-2 championship points, you kept Adam Funzlow at bay. He's the one you're worried about at the moment because he's obviously nearest to you in the championship, but you've held off all your opponents tonight. Talk to me, though, about race two. Demon start, up 3 spots on the opening lap, and that really set it up, but there was a bit of conjecture and discussion going on within the commentary box when Groshy's gone zigging into pit lane early and you two have left it late. Obviously, it worked out in the long run, but how difficult a conversation was that to have to try and work out what you were going to do strategically speaking on a track where, as we've highlighted, it's a bit of a goat track, a bit hard to overtake on. Was the discussion stay out there, burn the tank, try and, not get caught along the way, or go to pit lane and try and find some clear air?
Well, it was actually a pretty easy one there, young Zach. We basically said to Gotchi, get the hell out of the way. Just get in the pits and let it go. And that sorted that out. But no, then we started asking, is Gotchi actually in the chat? And then he perked up and we said, oh, thank goodness for that. Because I was flashing my lights at him for a bit of a joke. And I thought, if he wasn't in the chat and didn't know why I was flashing my lights at him, he'd be going, what's this all about?
Yeah.
But, no. That he made that call himself, and I always decided I was going to go as far as I could. Just try and do a short pit thing, but didn't quite work out. I think Dylan probably had it there. So, but anyway, that was probably the best it was going to be, really. I mean, actually, the first lap was pretty awkward. I come up to turn 1, and it may have been a good start, but it was almost a bit too good because I ended up 3 wide with Brandon and Daniel, so that wasn't amazing. I sort of backed out of it, and then it was like we were all backing off at the same time, and I was still in the middle. It wasn't amazing. I could see it. I could see cars flipping upside down, so I had to get on the brake.
Indeed. Daniel, let me bring you back in at this particular point in time. Stay with me, Dice. I'll get your thoughts on next week in a moment. Road America next week, you beauty. Friday night, 7:30 Eastern. And Joe and I will be going for 7 from 7. I would hazard a guess, considering that we are 6 from 6. The
7
old
lucky for
six-pack
some.
has been. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully lucky for us, Joe. Then on to Snedden and Daytona and Silverstone. But Daniel, let me ask you this. Let me put this to you. 2 weeks, 2 race wins, 2 podium finishes as far as round points are concerned. Everything's looking up. You look at the next 4 weeks, if you come back and contest all 4, there's a strong chance that, you know, we have a fair idea of where you're going to end up on the rostrum on any given night. But do you live then to rue what might have been had you been able to turn up a little bit earlier in the season and give it a crack and maybe rattle the cage of the boss and be in contention for the title yourself?
Well, not really, because I can only do a couple more weeks and then I'm off to go get married on the other side of the world. So, yeah,
that's right. I remember you saying you were engaged, but I wasn't aware that we're getting that close to the big happy day. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we are. So, fly out on the 2nd of September. So, obviously, I probably won't be on a sim while I'm got other things to do. So, yeah, just driving it because they're really fun cars. So.
Yeah, you do know Chapo took a laptop and a G27 on holidays once with him.
We're not going there. We can't do it, Joe.
I think he used a controller, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He used a remote control. Surely you're hitting the boss up, Daniel, to say, can you ship a sim rig over to Hungary for me?
That'd be paying that one back for a little while, I reckon.
No brownie points in there, Daniel.
I'll put my name on the check in the actual bosses over at DPR. I'll be wondering what the hell have we spent this money on?
Exactly. Oh dear.
Excess luggage.
Hey, correct. Exactly. No, obviously, yeah. And it's funny that we're mentioning this, and obviously we wish you nothing but the very best, and we hope it's an absolutely wonderful occasion. And we look forward to having you back on the rig at some point down the line. Even though you know the old ball and chain, and it might mean that you're not as free as you used to be. We'll wait and see. But let me ask you this. How difficult is it to juggle the whole rigmarole, mate, knowing that there's probably going to be some sim events along the way that you are going to miss? But I guess I feel as though that's a conversation that more and more of us are having on a more regular basis. Life's getting busier, and as we heard with Corey Lazarus, career comes first. Something had to give. He sold up his whole entire bloody sim rig and ended one of the great 4.5-year dominant eras of sim racing any of us have ever seen. From your standpoint, obviously the opportunity will be there to get back behind the wheel when you come back from Hungary, but it must be difficult to think, oh, well, there's going to be a couple of things that I miss along the way, but I've got to prioritise.
Yeah, I mean, you only get married once, ideally, so...
Not in this day and age, but no, well, let's hope that's not the case with you. Continue on.
Yeah, it's funny, when we looked at the special event calendar, I noticed that there was a heap of events in September, and I just chuckled to myself that, of course, the 1 year that I'm away in September, it's when they put events on. Me and Dice can't go back to back in Suzuka,
it's not the 1 year in September, Daniel. It's every year in September from now on, mate.
Well, yes, that's true. It's a busy month. Birthdays and anniversaries and all sorts going to be going on, so that's exciting.
Oh, dear.
But
Very nicely done. Yeah, keep going, mate.
Yeah, it's just funny that we can't go back to back this year, but yeah, unless I ask the iRacing esports team in Hungary if they want to let me have a run. I'm not too far away from their base, so maybe, but probably.
Well, I reckon we start the lines of communication there. Is there someone in Hungary that tunes into the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club that might be able to help Daniel Edmonds out? There we go. There's the challenge. We'll see what we can do. But can I strongly suggest that you don't hold your breath on that? Now, in the interim, let's get your thoughts immediately, gentlemen, because we've got a bit of paperwork to tick off here before we get to IndyCar. Let's talk about the bigger picture. Daiso, with that intel, championship's looking good, mate. You ticked all the boxes you needed to tonight. How do you go about finishing the job? You've got one drop round up your sleeve. Hopefully you don't have to lean on it in any way, shape or form. Immediate thoughts on Road America and how it looks after that.
Road America is good. I'm glad we finally get to go to a wide track. These little
yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Sorry, I was just looking at the chat.
Yeah, go on.
The comms curse. Don't put the comms curse on the marriage.
The commentator's curse is alive and well tonight, gentlemen. We put the kiss of death on Dylan Walker allegedly. So, well, actually, I'll come back to that with you in a moment, Dice. But firstly, talk to me about Road America and your immediate thoughts on that, and how you go about finishing the job that you started back 5 weeks ago.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, wide track, good track, good place to go racing. I think these cars will be good there because they're kind of slippery and kind of drafty in a straight line. So that'll be cool. It should be plenty close. And then after that, yeah, just going to keep rolling up and trying for some good races first because that's the main thing. And then if they're good finishes, that's good. Yeah, I think that's the plan really. No actual plan, to be honest.
And I guess for you, Daniel, no real pressure thinking about the bigger picture. You've only got 2 more cracks at this. You can run caution to the wind.
Yeah, I might crash everyone. See how that works.
Oh, wouldn't that be a story and a half? Wouldn't that be just a mic drop sort of moment? Doesn't matter. I'll serve my suspension over in Hungary. I'll be right. See you later. All the best. No, we know you wouldn't do that. But it's it's somewhat amusing to think about when we think about the car crash situation unfolding in northeastern Victoria at the moment. But I'll come back to that later, as I promised earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Daiso, what was going through your mind there on the final lap? My goodness gracious me. So we're watching you reel Dylan Walker in almost like he was standing still. To his credit, he put up a good fight, and he was on track to potentially win the thing, because even if you caught up to him, getting past him was a completely different proposition. But you did what you needed to do to be within striking distance on the final lap. You must not have been able to believe your luck when you saw him snap sideways in exit stage right.
Well, my immediate thought was, I'm going to have a good run on him here. But he kept going. And I went, oh, no, that's not good. So not super pumped to see it. But I was having a go. I was like going as fast as I could to try and catch up before that. And I made actually a couple little stuff ups here and there with bad downshifts. I think at one point there, coming from the point you turn into turn 2 until you get to the apex, I was making pizzas the whole way. So I nearly had a little moment like that. Well, nearly full spun out there as well, I suppose. But no, I hung on to it. And with those little mistakes, I thought, he would have saw those and saw that, all he had to do was just sort of keep it neat if I didn't get there, too soon, it would have been not as much pressure. But I can't speak on how he would have been thinking. I was just trying to get as close as I could to try and see what I could make of it if anything did happen. And I thought that was going to be a chance. I didn't think it was going to be the thing that got me the race. That's for sure.
It's shitty as we pick up live pictures from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. And as you can see, they've had biblical proportions of rain on the Ile Notre Dame there, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to make a little bit of history tonight with some wet weather racing in the GSRC Disruptive Labs Road to Indy series. The amusing thing for mine in all of this is we have a look at the field, and that's Stephen Bull on screen at the moment. Qualifying is underway. They've got I think they'll have a 5-minute warm-up to follow this, because the green flag's not due until 8:45 Eastern.
That looks like fun, doesn't it?
Have a look at it. Have a look at it. You may as well put canoes out there. There's standing water, and these blokes are going to be aquaplaning everywhere. This is going to be comical. It's going to be great to watch and a hell of a challenge for them. So let me finish with you two blokes before we get too much further. Daniel, I don't know if I asked you immediately, but what are your thoughts on Road America and what you might bring to the table there? I know I said you've got nothing to worry about. You can try caution to win, but the circuit specifically, it's a favourite for all of us.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did all right there in GT3 a couple of seasons back, so
yep.
Might go all right again here. Be a bit of feel safe in this thing with the draft, so that'll be. I don't know if it'll be the most exciting, but we'll see.
Big weekend for your stable mates, Daiso, with the Logitech G Pro Invitational Bathurst 1000 on Sunday. We wish them the best of luck. What have you got on your racing agenda for the next 7 days before we catch up next Friday night, please?
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing it, not me. But I've got some good races to do. I've got Portland in Xfinity cars, and then I think we do Richmond in Cup cars. So that'll be a bit of fun. Other than that, I don't know. Fingers crossed we might be able to do some Portimao stuff in GT1. That's not absolutely confirmed yet, but we might jump in and give it a crack and just cruise around, see where we end up. Maybe chuck in a DPR dock and send it. But no, that's about it really. I mean, other than the normal life things that happen around the rest of your life.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. What about you, Daniel? Any racing between now and next Friday?
I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow yet, so don't know what I'll be doing that far in the future. We'll find out.
I don't know if I could be that unscheduled and unorganised. Just waking up and formalising the schedule on the day. I don't know how I'd go with that. But good luck to you. It goes well. I'm sure you'll work out what's going on. A busy couple of weeks for you. Good luck with all the preparations. Well done tonight, boys. Who would you like to thank?
Would you like to go first, Dyson? Or shall I?
I've already let the world know that DPR Docs was on fire tonight, but we'll make a quick shout out to the engineer behind the documentation in Daniel Edmonds, who put this one together. So thanks for that. It was a bit of a hummy doc. And shout out to all the folks over at DPR. Hopefully they're still listening. We've talked enough nonsense now that they've probably decided to bugger off to bed or something. But yeah, thanks to Lamprey Transport. Who else we got there?
High Performance Media.
Oh my goodness. High Performance Media. Yep, I need to give them big ones all the time, otherwise Ryan gets mad at me. So don't forget, for all your social media, photos, videography needs, hit up High Performance Media. They'll look after you and get something real good and flash and make you look way better than you might actually be, like us. And who's the other one? Dan, you can help us out there.
That would be Staffed.
Staffed.
Very, very good company, isn't it?
Oh, Staffed is great. Big thank you to young McBay, Damien McBay, for bringing those guys on board. Thanks to that, and thanks to those guys for being little supporters of us and helping us support them.
Has he left anyone out, Daniel?
No, he's done well. He mentioned me, so that's the main thing.
I love it. Hey, well done, boys. Terrific. And I think the team leader's going to go back to the drawing board and make sure that he's got a written list in front of him next week so we can do this the plugs a little bit more.
Wobbled my way through that one.
Very nicely done. Good to catch up with you, gents. Well done. Great show, and looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table next Friday night, and good luck to the boys that are competing for you on Sunday as well. Go well.
So much.
Thank you. Kissan and Seepan.
There we go. Daniel Edmonds and Andrew Dyson. Thank you, boys. Appreciate that. Geez, they're rocking and rolling at the moment, aren't they? Fantastic stuff. We're slipping and sliding here to the circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the Ile Notre Dame. But before we properly do it, I saw a comment there a minute ago, maybe we can have the longest race ever in Indycar. No, we can't, unfortunately, because we're bloody well time certain. 65 minutes. And Trucker, if this weather sticks around, I reckon we'll need every single one of those 65.
Gonna need every second of it. So, and speaking of needing seconds, I think Zach probably needs a pit stop between now and the start of the run, and I do myself. So we might just go and you can watch. That's
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. That's a good save, but it ruins the hot lap. You're right, Joe. You go do a pit stop, and we might as well. Neely, are you sticking around?
I'll be around.
Yeah, why not? We'll take a break. Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Enjoy Quali. Joe, can you put the totem pole up there so everybody can follow along?
Certainly can.
Beautiful, because we didn't do that last time and people were saying, we don't know what's going on. So we've got that there for you. You can find out what's going on there, ladies and gentlemen. Ethan Morris on top of the timesheets at the moment. We've got 4 minutes before, actually, no, we've got about a minute before the end of the qualifying session, but we've got a 5-minute warm-up. So we'll be back with you in about 4.5 minutes, getting ready to go racing here. The Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and Friday Night Motorsport's main course, slipping and sliding all over the place on the Ile Notre Dame. Don't go away. The platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Friday night motorsport into the main course we go. Good to have you company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world across Facebook and YouTube as we head ever closer to the start of round 6, the beginning of the second half of the season in the Disruptive Labs GSRC Road to Indy series. Zach Cabe and Andrew Neil, Joe Baldwin with you on the 14th of August. Can you believe it, boys? 44 years ago today, my dear parents, mum and dad, they began courting 4.5 years exactly. So February 14, 1987, they got married. They did that purely so Dad would never be able to forget what date the anniversary was because it gets rammed down his throat through advertisements on television and in supermarkets and everything else. And they're still going strong to this day. And we were talking to Daniel Evans before we got going. I wish him every bit of the length and success of my mother and father, the longevity that they've enjoyed compared to so many others that have not stood the test of time. When you look at what's gone on over the course of the years and you look at the statistics that are doing the rounds this week with the divorce rate in the country at the moment, let's hope Daniel Edmonds is an exception to the rule there. Great to catch up with him and Andrew Dyson. Great to have you two here. Great to be bringing you Indycar, ladies and gentlemen. There's the circuit. 4.31 kilometres. If you're standing by for the wheel spin, we're going to do that at the end. I'm going to go around the grounds in a moment as well. At 2 o'clock local server time. Dry at the moment. Mostly dry. That's important to note. So we haven't quite cleared all the water, only 95% of it. But we are going to start on dry tyres. We had a deluge in qualifying. Whether or not we're going to see the rain return in the next hour or not remains to be seen. 15 kilometre-an-hour winds in northeasterly direction, 26 the ambient, 34 on track, cloudy conditions, and high humidity at 83%. Championship points. We need to go there first if we can, please, truck up.
We can do that.
And remind everybody that Ethan Morris is the dominant force in this series at the moment, but his winning run come to an end last week. 530 leads. Tom Donahue, 448, and Adam Lavis, 390, Luke Page, 368, and Stephen Bull, 365. Martin Davis, Joe Della Rosa, Greg Heaney, Daniel Gaiman, and Tristan McLaren make up the top 10 at the moment, but it is 276 points between first and 10th. So it is Ethan Morris and Daylight. Let's have a look at the grid for this first race in the second half of the season, and now only stop in Canada for the tour. Ethan Morris, Stephen Ball, front row, Angus Milne, Tom Donahue, second row, Dane Snadden, Adam Lavis, third row, Matt Schmidt, Eric Fenson, fourth row, Luke Page, Dave Oliver from row 5. From 6, it's Heaney and that's Greg Heaney and David Baz. Actually, David Baz is showing 11th and Greg Heaney 12th. My timing screen's a little bit all over the place. Leslie Rees, Scott Barchin, 7th row, Martin Davis, Dylan Walker, 8th row, John Piano, Dolarovas and Travis Azzopardi, 9th row, Joe Della Rosa from 10. Azzopardi's in race control, so rub him out, and Donahue's starting from pit lane, so put a line through him as well. He will join this race as the field passes through turn 2. So can Ethan Morris restore order after Stephen Bull brought his winning run undone last week in Portland? We'll wait and see. Great to be back at the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve in Canada on the Ile Notre Dame. It's been a while between drinks for open wheelers at this venue on these platforms. And we are set fair. Now, because the race has started dry at this stage, both compounds are in play. We're off, we're racing. But if that changes and we do have rain arrive, the tyre rule goes out the window. And Joe was asking me about that before we got going. If it was to be a completely wet race, you'd only use the wet compound tyre. If we go to wet at some point here, that eliminates the necessity of running both tyre compounds. Whoa. As they scramble through the first sequence of quarters and do so relatively unscathed. But if it stays dry as it is now, I reckon we're going to see both tyre compounds in use throughout the course of the evening. And as per usual, a mixed match of drivers that have chosen to start on the alternate or the primary. Ethan Morris on the alternate and Stephen Bull on the primary. And Joe, last week Ethan highlighted that tyre strategy selection might have been to his own detriment.
Yeah, he did, that's right. It's so difficult to get it right. Like you don't have to just worry about what you're doing with the tyres. Like, ideally, you want to be the last guy to jump on the grid so you know what everybody else is on and try and adjust on the fly. Like real life guys, they've got race engineers to do all that sort of stuff for them, right? Here, you've got to be your race engineer, your strategist, and the driver all in one go, and run the pit base. So it's quite difficult to get it right, especially when you got guys like Stephen Bull, Mav, especially. He's amazing at saving fuel. Yeah, and somebody with the raw pace that Ethan Morris has got. It's hard to, make sure you pick the right tyre at the right time, and when you pit strategies. And I think it's probably made it a little bit easier without the rain tonight. There's a little bit of standing water around, but that'll dry up probably by about lap 8 or 9, I'd say. Yeah. I'm hoping that there's going to be a big storm cloud that dumps on the place again like it was in qualifying, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm right there with you. They teased rain last week, but it only landed in qualifying. Almost bone dry the circuit now, but it is very dark up above. There are some heavy clouds looming around the place. Will they unload on the circuit? Time will tell. 42 laps the journey tonight, and Ethan Morris leads from Milne. Yeah, you can see there is still a little bit of water on the edges of the ripple strips there through turn 8 and 9. Down the back straight we go. Ethan Morris, the leader, and by a country mile already. He's checked out and taken off. Stephen Bull in the rear view at the moment. In behind him, of course, is Eric Fenson, but what a start from Angus Milne to displace Bull in the early stages up in a second. And he was impressive last week until he got caught up in an incident. So he'll be looking for some redemption tonight. Going around the grounds first time tonight, I've got the opportunity to do that. Freo, 5.35 lead. Adelaide 3.21 just into the second quarter. Earlier, the Dolphins too good for Manly, 22-0. And the Bulldogs South Sydney match already underway. But Bunnies leading 10-0 at the long break. So there's your around the grounds update. First up, I'll get back to the cricket later because obviously play concluded at 6 o'clock Eastern time this evening. So there's no change there throughout the course of the next hour. So we'll come back and talk cricket a little bit later on. Back straight again, 3 of 42, and we pick up Angus Milne. Neely, how much of the IndyCar series have you seen, please?
Absolutely zero. This is my first night. Actually, I think I did the first race this season.
Yes.
And, other than that, I've not seen a single drop. So looking forward to it.
So Neely's going to get an education with us throughout the course of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, which is good. As we're right on board now with Eric Fenson. And down the casino straight we go. Riding on board, listening to these IndyCars in full noise, Neely.
I've just had a look at the weather radar. We may get a sprinkle in the last kind of 10 minutes, but at the moment it's looking like it's going to be a dry race.
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well. We have, throughout the course of the season, Joe mentioned it earlier. Whoa, look at this. Gloves are off. Stephen Bull around the outside of Milne at turn 1. Fenson wanted a piece of it at turn 2 and had to tuck back in. Whoa. Start of lap 3, we're hearing that P's 11 through 14 went 4 wide. Going down the main straight. That'd be a sight to see if we can get a replay of that. If not, I'm sure we'll see it in the post-race show. Back straight again. Stephen Bull, the leader of the battle pack that's trying to reel in the championship leader, Ethan Morris. But he's already gone and checked out. Righto, was there a slowdown being observed there? Oh. Wow, they did rather get away with that. Jeez, that's hairy. Oh, boy, that's tight. That's too close for comfort. Extraordinary. Well done to all involved in getting away with that one.
That's like throwing half a bag of Skittles in your bathtub.
Yeah, exactly.
All the colour and not enough room.
How many Skittles are you throwing in the bathtub? Oh wow. I've never heard that before.
No, me either.
Ethan Morris, Stephen Bull, Angus Milne. Just trying content on air and seeing where it lands, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. In the bath, apparently.
Yeah, Eric Fenson, Adam Laverstein, Snadden, Matt Schmidtke. Slow down for Eric Fenson, so that's going to hurt a little bit as they make their way down to start lap number 5. Now, this is the other point as well, right? Now that it is a dry race, we've only got 42 laps. We're clocking around the 1 minute 24s. So, again, it looks as though we're going to have a little bit of buffer to play with at the back end of the race, going back to the 60 to 65 minute mark. We'll have a little bit of breathing space there. Now, it's interesting that I mentioned that because we'll have the competition caution. I want to come back and make a point on that in a moment. But if Neely's right and we do get some precipitation towards the back end, because we always play with time on our side, maybe it doesn't land early enough to have an impact. Keep an eye on that. Other point as well. Whoa, trouble. There goes David Baz. Was it? Or was it Dylan? No, it was, yes, David Baz. Loses out to Dylan Walker and Scotty Barchin. Gets going up on the inside. Leslie Reeves will have a piece of that. Jordan Pianazzola's not too far away. And he's going to go around the outside of David Baz as well.
So Baz has got
No, he's lost out. He wasn't able to get it done. Now he will. Go for it, Joe.
Yeah, so he's got a damaged rear wing out of that, has Baz. So what's actually happened there? It looks like Baz might have actually had his own little incident. Oh, he's got onto the water, see?
Oh, no.
And poor Dylan Walker had nowhere to go except the pit lane.
Cannot take a trick tonight.
No,
cannot take a trick. Dylan Walker and David Baz to pit lane. That'll be for a fast repair. One for a rear wing, one for a front. And, yeah, that just goes to show you, right? So this is interesting, Neely, because we've been in these situations before, but there's a very fine line that you've got to tread on at the moment, right? You can afford to just about take the racing line, but as we've just seen there through David Baz, you cannot be in any way, shape or form greedy with the ribble strips because they've still got some moisture on them, and you will pay the price. And unfortunately, they've both paid the price there because it checked Dylan Walker up and he had nowhere to go.
Oh, nearly. Didn't hear you.
No, he didn't. No.
I tell you, like that was just so unlucky for Dylan. He did nothing wrong, and I mean, really, Baz did nothing wrong. He just a little bit too much curb and went through the. I mean, probably a bit too much curb. It would have unsettled the car a little bit anyway. But on any normal night on a completely dry track, he would have got away with it. But with the water there, just took away percentage of grip, and as the car landed, it got a little bit squirrely, and away it went. So yeah, very, very unlucky for Baz, and probably more so for Dylan. Just wrong place, wrong time.
Indeed.
So your big movers and shakers at the moment, this is a name we hear a lot actually. Jordan Pianazzola up 6 spots from where he started. Scotty Barchin, we know what he's like in an open wheeler, so he's up 5. Eric Benson up 4, along with Joe Della Rosa. So they're your big movers up so far, and down is Tom Donahue, Dave Baz, and Dylan Walker. Hey, tell you what, Dylan was up a long way.
Yeah, and now he's showing -2.
And now he's only showing -2.
Did he run over a cat or something last night?
I think he might have.
Seriously. If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have none at all tonight by the looks of this. Ethan Morris leads by 3.6 seconds. Stephen Bull-Angus Mill. The top half dozen have spread out. The first battle is the one you're watching, folks. Barchin, Pianazzola, Reeves, and Page. So, with that in mind, Trucker, competition caution flew really early last week.
It did,
Threw the race wide open. Put the onus on everybody to stay clean for 3/4 of the race, just about. I'm not sure we'll see the same tonight, but it's going to make it interesting for the guys that have already had to stop. How compromised is their run from here, or can they salvage something when everybody gets brought back to the field? We know that it's a free kick for everybody when that happens. But at the same time, we're also noting how quickly everybody's spreading out here, how difficult overtaking seems to be at the moment. It's not going to be easy for the likes of Baz, Walker and Donahue to mount a comeback. Donahue, after starting from pit lane, it's important to note.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, Oulton Park in the GT1s was difficult, but this place is next level. Like it's a wonderful circuit. It's a hot lap on. Very, very difficult to overtake on. You've probably got the braking zone into Wall of Champions, braking zone into the hairpit that leads onto the straight heading down to the Wall of Champions. And probably this, yeah,
Leslie Reeves.
Oh, let's Reeves
pit stop at the end of lap 8. So that's early. That's early.
He'd be
With a view
hoping,
to the back end of the race, that is early.
he'd be hoping for the competition caution to come out on the next lap, I reckon.
Just about. Any time from now is fair game for him because he's already in the pit lane. There's Adam Lavis, running 5th at the moment. Had a really solid run last night in the V's, didn't he? Race to the Achilles heel. He got caught up in some garbage there, but fought Alex Borgersrud for the win in races 1 and 3 in a scintillating night of entertainment, and actually used his good teammate here, my colleague Joe Baldwin, to his own advantage. Let Trucker take everyone onto the back straight and then let him get gobbled up on the back straight, ladies and gentlemen, last night. You're a sitting duck in that position, aren't you, Trucker?
Nothing you can do. Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 2. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we have a random in this one. So,
we're trying to interpret who the username is if you haven't already figured that out, ladies and gentlemen. Like, who's hiding behind the username?
A lot of guys in Bull, Fenton.
Random pit lane. Yes, Bull, Fenton, Laver, Snadden, Oliver. This is interesting that this is the end of lap 9. Wow.
Ooh,
this is early. I would have thought this was, this is very early, I would have thought. So, are they looking at a 4-lap race, or do they know something that we... a 4-stop race, or do they know something that we don't? With a view to the numbers at the back end.
Dylan Walker's just
pumped out the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 22.995. Well, no, they've stopped on lap at the end of lap 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36. If it's a 9-lap stint, it's 4 stops.
Yeah, true. Mind you, though, Morris...
If they're only getting 9 laps out of a stint, it's 4 stops. Yeah. Kiwi, right, that'll work. Yep. All
right, Kiwi, there we go. Oh, it's the Kiwi. There you go. All right, got it now. Deciphered.
It's dark Kiwi. Yeah. So the English language took a bit of a vacation. I see. Yeah.
Kiwi brew.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, so that's good news that one of our friends from across the ditch is actually looking at getting involved in our open world racing. That includes Formula V. That doesn't include Formula V. And we're not here. Ethan Rice, Angus Milne.
Dave!
Big hit for Oliver. Big hit for Dave. That's an enormous shunt. And he'd already stopped too. That was his outlap. That was his outlap.
He's knocked the rear of that car. Well,
look at this again.
Cold tyres.
Absolute passenger. Dave Oliver's out of contention for the moment. Income at the end of lap 10. Morris, Milne, Schmidtke and Page. Now they're more on the money, Joe.
Yeah, definitely.
Because 10, 20, 30, 40, you can stretch an extra 2 laps out of that once we work out where this caution's going to fall.
Yeah, well, I mean, bit of a masterstroke really by Morrison and Bulls all over him. Look at this.
This is interesting because Bull's stop was 6.73 seconds. Morris's was 8.7. So Morris has spent longer on the jacks. Come back out into the clutches of Stephen Bull. These two pick up exactly where they left off in Oregon.
God, Bull. Jesus.
Jeez, that's a save and a half from Stephen Bull. Had to catch that. And you can see he lost some ground. He lost a good half a second there. He was all over the back of Morris like a cheap suit. He did well to catch it. Wow.
Very, very close to there.
Oh, Adrian, he's woken up.
He's
there
back.
We go.
Yeah, sorry. Kids come in.
Oh, copy. Nice. Hello, sir. Good to have you back with us.
Good to be back.
Dane Snadden's had an incident. What have you done? Oh, bit too much curb. Bit too much curb.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't touch anything. Oh, except Schmidtke's again.
Oh, good to see Snaddo back. Although I don't think Matt Schmidtke would have been sharing that sentiment in that moment. No. Oh dear. Could you have imagined how awkward that would have been on Monday night? when they're obviously racing under the same banner. Schmitty with the Aussie races every other night of the week, but Monday night is loaned, you could say, for lack of better words, to Greg Heaney in the Whiskey Business Racing stable. And we do look forward to catching up with Mr. G. Heaney at the end of the night. Leslie, Wall of Champions has its first victim of the night. David Baz is on pit lane.
Was that
Dave
Baz
Oliver
that got
is,
him? I think it might have been.
And Dave Oliver's been back to pit lane for the second time, boys, and is now off sequence with everybody. Oh, geez. We'll have to go back just we'll have to go back a little bit further here. Let's just have another look at that. Go on board with Baz. You can see what's going on there. You can see exactly
what's going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no consent sought for that move that was made. Black flag for Dave Oliver. He's got a pit lane transit coming up. That'll be his third. And yeah, when it's not your night, it's not your night, Dave. I'm sorry. But I hope he stops by for a chat post-race after what's been a very big day in Australian motorsport news. He and I have been all over that like a cheap suit and enjoying every piece of it. Ethan Morris, Stephen Bull, Angus Milne, Eric Fenton, Adam Lavis, the top five. See my previous comment. I'll have to come back to that. I didn't actually see the previous comment. I'm looking at other. There's a lot of other things going on at the moment. I didn't actually see the previous comment. 17 and 3/4 minutes gone. But that is, see, this is the thing, right? And we talk about this all the time. Nearly, you know about this. We've talked about it at Mazzano. We've talked about it at a few different venues. St. Petersburg is one that's tripping a few people up. There are different pit lanes all around the world, like entry and exit points. Some of them good, some of them horrible. And this goes down as one of the more horrible pit lane entry points on the tour, because it's on the racing line. Like when you're committing to pit lane, you're on the racing line. There's no way to get out of it. And you're trying to go full throttle because you're looking at the brake marker that's going to pull you up. Oh, no. The Whiskey Business Racing entry that's Dane Snadden has lost its front wing. Snadden's a sitting duck. Walker's going to go through on the inside, push Schmidtke along. Have a look at this. 3 wide. Whoa! Walker kicks up the puddle. Schmidtke tried it. Oh, no! Back one and gone. Can you believe this? Jordan Pianazzola gets cleaned up again. It's just not his bloody week. What the hell is going on here?
Poor Jordan. Oh, God. We've seen what happened to him in the V's last night. Or not, yeah. Oh,
Schmidtke never saw him coming. Never saw him coming. He never stood a chance. But this is my point, right? So you look at that corner. If you're trying to turn right, you're pulling up, you're getting on the anchors. If you're trying to go to pit lane, you don't want to get on the anchors because you want to maximise your pit entry. And that's why the David Baz incident happened. I think Schmitty was observing a slowdown and he's got back across not realising how close to him Jordan was. That's all that'll be. Sheer lack of awareness on Schmitty's part. Dane Snadden off the road again. And loses out to Scotty Barchin. Jeez. Your take on that, Neely?
It was just unfortunate, wasn't it? The closing speed of Jordan would have just been too much, and Schmitty underestimated what was there if he knew he was there. There will be a hefty, hefty penalty coming his way, though, I would say.
I would imagine.
And two of his teammates. Yeah, 2 of his teammates are going to have to adjudicate that one for him too.
One from Aussie Races, Josh Zuno, and one from Whiskey Business, Travis Azzopardi.
My teammate for Trav. Like, we all hang out in the same Discord, but yeah, like I say, that one's going to be awkward.
Rather awkward.
Jordan's in for a fast repair. What's the new wing go on? No, he already used his fast repair tonight.
Yep.
No, it's new.
No, that's right.
Oh,
Excuse me, I got a mouthful of food. I'm trying to eat what's left of my dinner on the go. So Milne, all over the back of Eric Fenton
Your
now.
knife and fork around.
That was you last night, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, no, it was Schmitty.
That was Joe the other week.
Yeah. And Joe was
the other week, he was scratching his plate with his knife and
I
fork.
was. That was round one, I think.
Schmitty did it last night as well. I'm just not sure whether it was on air or off air. He said, I keep trying to move things around and I keep hearing this clunk and I then look over and it's me cutlery. Oh, fantastic.
Speaking of which, I'm a bit peckish.
Oh, are you going to depart early, are you?
No, I'm here for the long haul.
Oh, good boy.
Oh, you
Excellent.
are here?
Yeah.
Talked you into it.
Well, most of the time.
So where does this competition caution come in? I'm curious to find that out. It's going to be a very interesting part of this race. Lap 16 to 42, so we're more than a third of the way there. That's point number one.
Somehow we've still got, other than Dave, Baz and Trav as a party, everyone's still on the lead lap. So they're, I don't think these guys, Morris and them, are right on Baz's, on Dave Oliver's tail too. So Dave Oliver will be screaming for the safety car to come out shortly. Make life a little bit easier on himself.
Just so he can get his lap back. And by the way, of the tracks we've been to so far, this is the longest by a good kilometre. So you've got St Petersburg, Barber and Portland. This is the longest circuit we've been to so far as the road courses are concerned. So a long lap, slow safety car period. Oliver's going to have to go like a scalded cat to get his lap back, and he normally really thrives on the fuel save and what he can do in the saving capacity behind that safety car. He's not going to have that luxury tonight. Dane Snadden riding on board with him now. Stephen Bull's within half a second of Ethan Morris. Eric Fenson's third. Top two in a league of their own, Andrew Neil. I mean, they are 9.5 seconds up the road from Eric Fenton. That remain the benchmarks of the championship. It'll be interesting to see what they can bring to the table. The rest of the pack, that is, what they can bring to the table when we neutralise this race and we bunch everybody back up once more. The surprise so far. Oh, Fenson! Fenson put it off the road, 2 wheels in the dirt, and Milne goes through. Oh, he's still spinning. He's in all sorts, Eric Fenson. Lavis has gone through, Milne's gone through. Milne goes to third, and he is 11 seconds down the road on Stephen Bull and Ethan Morris. This is how it happened. Turn 8 and 9 again. Bang. Oh. Spin, round he goes. So how much damage has he sustained? Can he work with that car until the pit stop and then get the fast repair? Oh dear. No, in he comes. In he comes at lap 17. Surely he's looking at a 4-stopper now. Meanwhile, over there in the west, ladies and gentlemen, it's 41 to 35, Fremantle over Adelaide at the moment as they approach half-time. Oh, boy. The top two remain a cut above. They are 11, 12 seconds clear of the pack. It's a pleasure to turn up and watch these guys do what they do on a Friday night, Joe. I mean, Ethan Morris has raised the game, raised the bar here in the Indycar series. It's always been a competitive series, but he's, sent the message out, and it's been well received by Stephen Bull, who's taken it. Challenge accepted. Okay, I've got to lift my game to see if I can match it with this bloke. And he did that last week. He caught Morris napping and broke the winning run.
I wasn't paying attention. He's actually got by him too.
Let's have a look at this. It was half a second.
Wrong one. Hang on. It moved.
You're right. In comes Stephen Bull. Okay, in comes Stephen Bull. He's on pit road while Morris continues on for another lap. So there you have it.
So he was surpassed.
Down the back straight now. Oh, let's have a look. He's gone push to pass, and then he's gone straight to pit lane, has he? No, that was the previous lap. He went the previous lap and got the lead, and then the in lap was important. So he licked the stamp and sent it on the in lap.
Change the tyres.
8.5 seconds. Off we go again. Lap number So he's only gone 9 laps again there. So are we right in reading this as a 4-stop race?
It's certainly looking more and more that way. And like, here comes the next wave of guys in. So they're all only getting 9 laps as well.
For the benefit of everybody tuning in at home that might be wondering, hang on, why are we only 18 laps into the race and doing our second round of pit stops? Because the fuel tank, we've restricted the capacity of the tank to a percentage, just to enable strategy play to be a part of the narrative. If you gave them the full 100% tank capacity, we wouldn't be talking about strategy gameplay anywhere near as much. 26.5 minutes gone. Lap 19 just about in the books. Ethan Morris should be going to pit lane either this time by or next. It's going to be next. So he's getting 10 laps out of his stint. Already at an advantage to everybody else that's only getting 9. Observations from Andrew Neal. What have you made of it so far, please?
That is a very good question, Zach. I've been busy trying to get some other stuff done, so I've not been watching too much.
Copy that. He will be the silent observer from the booth at the moment, the way things are going. Andrew, but I know what he's doing.
I have been picking up on the weather, though.
I know what he's up to. Weather update. What have we got? Anything good?
Clear skies. Bit of weather coming in on the long-term radar, long observation radar, but I think that's still a way off.
Oh, Adam
Potentially some rain by
Ravens.
about-
Sorry, mate. I'm just going to jump in there. Adam had an unfortunate moment, a little bit of a bog down and bobble on the way back onto the racetrack, and Eric Fenton is still persevering with some damage, is he? Is that Fenton, or is it Luke Page? Someone out there's still got some damage on their front wing. Is it Page or is it Fenton following Adam Lavis? Let's have a look. I think it's Page. It is Page. You can see it there on the left-hand side. Let's have a look at Adam Lavis coming back out on the racetrack. Oh, I know what he's done. He went to cut that white line. Let's go on board with him, Joe, and just have a look at him riding that white line. On that same camera shot, coming out of the pit lane, let's go on board with him. You watch this. He's going to pull himself up here so he doesn't go over that white line and get slugged an invoice. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And it didn't help that he was crossed up and sideways as well, so he's pitched the brake too. Oh, he did well to catch that to avoid getting an invoice. Matt Schmidtke to pit lane. Lap 21, and we have gone half race distance. This time by the line will be half race distance, and we still haven't seen the safety car. So there you have it. Into the back half of the race we go before we see caution.
Fenton's missing a wing again.
Yeah, and not for the first time. Or did he not have a fast repair at his disposal? Or did he just simply wait? No, there it is. It's been fixed now. It's good. Come good.
Hang on, Milne's in front of Bull. What's happened to Bull?
Ooh, fastest lap of the race for Steph. Oh, well, actually, no. What's happened is he's stopped twice and the other two haven't. That's all that's happened.
Yes, of course.
And in comes Morris, in comes Milne. So Morris's lead is 16.2 seconds. Bull's a long way back at the moment. And I mean a long way back. The top two are in at the end of lap 21. So they just got 11 laps out of that stint. So they've just done what they needed to do, Joe, to give themselves the leverage of only having to stop once more here. So the game has changed. The goalposts have moved because these guys are getting 11 laps and 10 laps out of their stints. They only need to, with the assistance of the safety car, allowing them to save fuel, they've only got one more stop. There's a cloud of uncertainty over everybody else, though. Morris's advantage is 2.3 seconds to Stephen Bull. Bull's just punched out the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 22.300.
2.1 seconds to the good of Bull in pit lane. So he was stationary for 6.4. Bull was 8.5 on the last stop.
Will Stephen Bull be looking to that safety car to give him a leg up as far as the rest of this race is concerned? Will he be hoping that it falls late enough that he's only got to stop once more and the fuel that he can save behind the safety car? will hopefully get him home. But I don't know how he does it, because 9 and 9 leaves you 24, and we haven't seen anyone get 12 laps out of their stint yet. So, watch this space. It's going to be really, really intriguing for the next couple of laps. 20 to go this time by the line. Schmidt
coming out of the pits.
on Disruptive Blood 3 play. He's done what Mav did, but only worse.
A lot worse.
Because Mav was able to catch it, Schmidt wasn't.
Snagged in the shoe. Oh. Same, but different.
Oh, how good. How good. 18-0 South Sydney over Canterbury, by the way, boys. For those of you tuning into the NRL whilst you're watching us. So we're going side by side around the grounds for a moment there. But yes, Bunny's in complete control. Remember, the cricket continues tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's right after weekend sunrise. And don't forget, Sunday, you'll need to be having your sports bars in operation, ladies and gentlemen. Us on one screen, and when I say us, I mean our colleagues over at the Australian Sim Racing Group, the Logitech G Pro Invitational Bathurst 1000, of which there will be some GSRC members lining up on the grid. And, of course, the cricket on the other, because the way the Bangladeshis played today, this is not going to be a 3-day test. We might get 4. We might even come back on Monday for a little bit of overtime on day 5. What a story that is that's brewing in the top end at the moment. Whoa! Dear, oh dear. The charge back through the field was going all right for Tommy Donahue until that moment. An Indycar, a Dallara doing Porsche things. Oh, the little curb tripped him up. It didn't like that curb, Joe.
No, it's so stiffly sprung. They're just, touch curbs a little bit too aggressively with these, and that's exactly what happens.
Absolutely indeed.
Well, there's Dylan Walker up 11 spots. Two stops as just about everybody other than Dave Oliver, Stadden and Joe Della Rosa have had 3. Dave Baz has been 4 times through. But Dylan's up 11 spots, and Scott Barchin as well. He's up 8 positions. Martin Davis up 7.
Yep.
Jordan Pianazzola heading to the pits.
Dave Oliver, Dane Snadden, Joe De La Rosa will all get the wave by. If the caution was to start, was to begin now, they would all get the wave by. Half-time in the West, Fremantle 7-5-47 plays Adelaide 6-6-42. So 12 scoring shots apiece there in Friday Night AFL. More score updates later. In the meantime, 34 minutes gone and it's been green all the way. 24 laps in. So we're 18 laps from home this time by the line for Ethan Morris. No sign of the caution just yet. And no sign of the rain returning either, which is unfortunate.
A bummer.
Yes. We were so looking forward to it, Joe.
Well, I know I was. But, yeah, it instilled a little bit of false hope in me qualifying.
Absolutely. Well, practice even, yeah, and then quali as well. So, wet practice, wet qual, and then dry warm-up. Staggering. "35 minutes gone. Martin Davis on. Oh, here comes Dylan Walker to pit lane. Martin Davis chasing Eric Fenton. Past Dylan Walker they'll go. He's on pit road, just leaving now. Will he get out and cover them off at turn 2 before they get there? The answer to that is yes. Martin Davis and Eric Fenton did get there and got by Dylan Walker, who fell back into the clutches of Matt Schmidtke. My apologies. Lap 25. So we've gone polar opposite to what we had in Portland. Portland, we had the caution early, and we had a ripped snorter of a race every step of the way from once it resumed after that safety car interval. And this time round, we've gone well beyond half race distance. 21 laps being half race distance. We've just started lap 26, Morrison Bull. Look at how tight it is at the front. And yet again, Stephen Bull is making Ethan Morris work for this one. as rightly he should. As rightly he should. Point for the margin, first to second. All right, who coughs and sneezes first?
Hopefully the yellow
37
flag.
out of 10. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. That'll reinvigorate things because at that point we can start number crunching. We can work out, righto, who's got one stop to go, who's got two. Who's going to be able to make it this time through and who's not.
Yeah, well,
Who might stop twice during the safety car just to keep topping up the tank?
yeah, well, we got, at the moment, the only real battle on track is for the lead, which is, I mean, there's worse things that can happen, right? But the rest of the field's pretty spread out. So, yeah, depending on when the safety car comes, we could fight for the lead now.
Stephen Bull on the inside of it, the Morris to turn one. Why not? Morris back down on the inside. They're going to go side by side out of two, and Morris is going to hold sway. Good effort from both men there. Now the switch back to the up and under, and Bull goes back down the inside. Wowee. We don't think it's going to rain that bad. We don't think it's going to rain that bad. It certainly doesn't look like it's skies above. These two might take each other out between now and then.
That'll liven up the race.
Wouldn't it? Have a look at them.
Morris is on the
They are
button.
throwing the kitchen sink at this. Morris to the outside. Bull defends. Bull leads them through. 0.2 the margin. Watch Morris down to the hairpin. Too far back. Lap 27. Oh, how's the heart rate, ladies and gentlemen? Go and check your pulse. This is good stuff between the two form men of the series. The guy that's dominated the first 4 rounds of the season and the bloke that displaced him from the top step of the podium last week. In goes Stephen Bull again, and this has been par for the course for Bull tonight. The 3-stop strategy works for him so far, but it's going to be 4. Morris can still make it on 3. But I get the feeling now, Trucker, right?
Yeah,
So
I know where this is going.
you know exactly where I'm going.
Yep.
Because Morris has been doing 10s and 11s. So his critical lap is lap 31, lap 32. Stephen Bull, he knows he's got a pit stop to make. As soon as that safety car comes out, all bets are off. He's on pit road. He'll take a free pit stop. So that'll cleanse him.
Here's Scotty Barchin. He's in the pits.
But how much time will he lose and where will he be track position-wise to Ethan Morris when that happens? That's the unknown.
Bull has pitted and he's still out in second. So he's ahead of Milne. Like, they had enough of a gap that he could sit in second. Now, depending on when this safety car comes, he's going to be in the box seat, and I'll tell you why. Unless Ethan Morris pits between now and the safety car being thrown, it's going to be all good for Steve, because they're both going to have to stop anyway. But Steve's only going to have to take like 8 laps worth of fuel less at this point. This point. So
that's right.
It's with the safety car, if it comes out in the next 2 laps before Morris pits, it's going to be a real good up for Bull. Whereas Morris, he should probably, does he pit on the next lap, or does he keep going and run his car out of fuel and then get trapped? Or can he pit? Then it comes out and he's got enough fuel where he doesn't have to go into the pits. So he'll keep the lead. It's interesting stuff.
It is indeed. There are 14 laps to go, 13 and a half as we ride with Ethan Morris heading down to the hairpin. Lap 29 to 42, 41 minutes gone. It's been green all the way so far. We're right on board with the championship leader. Now, remember, there is... See, this is the thing, right? IndyCar is so very different to supercars and other things, right? In IndyCar, the first time by the pit lane after the caution is thrown, the pit lane's closed. So do not enter here.
Again.
Pass go, but do not collect the $200, right?
Yep.
Just made a mistake coming out of the pit, says Leslie Reeves. Reeves' night is done. Leslie Reeves' latest retirement. Thanks for letting us know. David Baz back out there, but still showing now 6 laps down, and it's a long road back from there. But thankfully with 42... Whoa.
Oh, Leslie.
Oh, geez. With 42, he's got to get to at least 31, 32 to be classified. So he's still on track to do that at the moment, but if he makes any more mistakes, he won't be. Adam Lavis comes in now. We are 12 laps from home, 13 for these guys, 12 laps for the other two when they get back to the strike. Bull and Morris. Morris, 17.5 seconds to the good. So with the pit lane being closed when the caution flies first time through, there's no merit in going like a scalded cat once that caution is thrown. You go, you line up behind the safety car and everybody comes in at the same time. And Joe is absolutely spot on, but because at this stage, the next car in the queue, caution! What dirty? There's your bingo.
And I tell you, guess who the big winner out of it all is going to be?
Oh, yeah.
Adam Maverick.
Adam Lavis was on pit road on lap 29.
He was already up on the jacks.
Caution was thrown. Now, can he stretch it? If anyone's going to do a fuel save, it'll be our mate Mav.
Absolutely, he can. He's been doing 10 per stint anyway. We're going to probably have 3 laps behind the safety car. He would have the thing on the safety car map at the moment. So it's probably making all of about 7 horsepower. And yeah, so he'll burn no fuel between now and the green flag dropping. Stephen Bull, will he be able to do it? I don't know. Ethan Morris, well, by the time these guys get up behind the safety car, so whereabouts are they? Yeah, they've got a long way to go. So these guys are going to... Oh, Mav's just coming on... So where's Mav's? So he's about half a lap behind Morris at the moment. So there's a few guys there. You can see over on the map there, when I highlight the drivers, so Ethan Morris, he's on the straight down the bottom of the map. And here's Mav... about a third of a lap behind, so he needs to catch up. Yeah, he should be able to.
And the safety car will be moving slow enough that everybody should be bunched up and line astern going to pit lane. But so let's weigh this up, right? Adam's the big winner, absolutely. Can he keep Morris and Bull at bay? We'll wait and see. He's pretty good at holding his own, but we usually look at him as an oval specialist, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then you look at the fact that Morris, Bull, Milne, Walker, they're all going to be in. That brings Walker back into strategy and into play as well, because he was caught out by that incident earlier on. There's Scotty Barchin limping away.
He ran out of fuel.
He absolutely did. He did. He had to get the tow. Yep, he's done. So Barchin's out there, but he's 2 laps down. So Barchin's out of contention. Baz is out of contention. Reeves is the first retirement of the night. It took us till lap 25 to get a retirement. That's awesome. We don't normally say that because we're normally crashing into turn 1, 2, 3 or 4 of an oval course, or the concrete canyons of Long Beach or St. Petersburg. So to get to lap 25 before our first retirement, that's awesome out of 42. Joe De La Rosa's a lap down. Heaney, Oliver, Snadden, they're all a lap down. But look at that line of cars. Look at them. Look at them. They're all going to pit lane.
The big
except
question,
for Adam Lavis.
Does Bull have to pit?
Absolutely he does.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that he's going to be able to... Like, I think Adam's stretching it for 13, quite frankly.
Oh, no, he did go in. Sorry, there was a car in the middle there.
Yeah, there are a couple of cars in there that are going to get waved by. But Adam Lavis is going to be, I think, the effective race leader here. No, he's coming as well. Lavis is coming as well. Oh, no, so even he doesn't think he can get 13 laps out of this. Well, that rubs him out of contention as well. Stephen Bull's not going to have to spend... Stephen Bull's not going to have to spend much time on the jacks here.
Absolute splash and dash for Mav. What's this? Here he goes, here he goes.
Go on. Oh, there you go. Jordan Pianazzola leads this field. Ethan Morris has gone out second. Stephen Bull is still on the jacks. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Steve.
Oh, no.
Black
Black
flag.
flag, Stephen Bull. Black flag, Stephen Bull. We only just saw it on our screen. What the hell? Stephen Bull snatches victory from the jaws of defeat. He snatches defeat from the jaws of victory. It works 6 of one, half dozen of the other. This week he's snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. He's in our green room now. I'm going to drag him in. What on earth has happened to you, please, Mr. Bull?
Whoopsie busy.
What happened there, please?
Gunned it a little too quick into pit lane. I think I've passed some of the guys there on track there and picked up old.
That'll do it. And again, that comes back to what I was saying to the boys earlier about the trip hazards of this pit lane. A, you get collected in a straight line. And B, yes, if anyone stays out there and goes on, you get slugged at invoice if you make so much as an overtake, even though you're not on the same piece of real estate. Oh, it's really cruel. It is really cruel.
Racing doesn't run the safety cars and officials, so you never get any practice with it. And if you don't do this on the regular, mistakes happen.
Aidan Carl reckons that having a 4 and a 1 in your race number is something one should not do, in his opinion. Oh, sorry, no one should do it. Yep, that's right. Now, was that a direct jab at you? Yes, it was.
441.
Fancy throwing you under the bus when you're already feeling miserable about the penalty you've just copped. Fair dinkum.
Same number.
No holds barred, eh? No holds barred. I love it. So, this is a very interesting situation because we're going to go around again, Joe. We're going to go around again. Because they've just cleared the lap cars. So, Dave Oliver, Joe De La Rosa, Scotty Barch and David Baz, they're all on their way around again.
Aidan Carl saying his race number's 041, so you can't have a 4 and a 1.
No, that's exactly. So you boys are both looking for a new number to race with from now on, quite possibly. Okay, Stephen, sell it to me. What's the best you can hope for from here, please? Pianazzola's just picked up the same black flag that you copped.
Oof.
He didn't learn from your mistake. Black flag, Jordan Pianazzola. Can you believe this? Another one bites the dust. Another sting in the tail. Speaking of another one biting the dust, the domino effect is in full swing, right? And I'll talk more about the debacle unfolding in Australian motorsport at the end of this show.
we don't want the post-race to go that long, Zach.
I promise you, the off-air version of that will be far funnier than the on-air version.
Be a lot fruitier language too, I'd say.
That's exactly what I was implying. Yep. Well done, Joe. Fair income. So, Pianazzola with a black. And David Baz with a black as well. So, that adds insult to injury for David Baz. Jordan Pianazzola comes out in 35.32 seconds. Look who he's immediately going to be behind. On track, Stephen Bull. So, there you go. You got someone to work with. Work your way back through the field. What's the best you can hope for, Stephen?
I was hoping the safety car was going to come in pretty quickly, get the show off a bit of fuel saving and, sort of controlled aggression where you can make it work. And but with how it's gone now, which is standard for the course, we do usually extend it one lap just to get wave rounds done. I think this is going to be a full push to the end. So
yeah,
try and use some on the pace, get up a few more posies. We're already in the top 10, so not all lost yet.
No. Realistically, though, let's have a look. I mean, you're probably looking to eye off Donahue, Schmidtke, Davis. If you can jag a top 5 from here, that'll be a pass mark considering the spanner in the works.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of a smaller field that we've had so far, but the quality's still right up there. So I don't think it's going to be any easy passes here.
Right. News is: are you going to stay here and listen to us yellowing and screaming, or are you going to go and focus on the task at hand?
Too late to hold tab now. I'm stuck here.
Okay, you poor bastard. It's going to be very distracting for Stephen Bull for the next short while, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do our best, however, and I can get away with the use of that 7-letter word because we're after 7:30 Western Standard Time. Just so that we're clear on that. We can be a little bit looser at this time on a Friday night. Ready to rock and roll. Lights still on the safety car, so we're going round one more time. So We've got a little bit more padding to do here. So it is going to be, when they come back to the line at the end of what will be lap 34, Joe, it is going to be a full 8-lap push. And the only thing that I'm now looking at and thinking, oh, geez, we're cutting it fine, is the bloody clock. So we're going to have, I think we make it, but we go right to that 65-minute marker. We will hit that 65-minute marker tonight in this race. Into pit lane come Dane Studden, Dave Oliver and Joe De La Rosa just to top up the tanks one more time. So it is going to be a full send to the line. It'll be Ethan Morris, Adam Lavis, Angus Milne. So last night Mav was keeping the benchmark in Formula V rather honest in Alex Borger's run. Tonight he's going to get a chance to have a look at Ethan Morris. Milne will be third. Fenson, Walker, Schmidtke, Donahue, Davis, Bull. Then Pianazzola, Heaney, De La Rosa, Page. Oh no, Snadden and Oliver. Snadden and Oliver, they've got a black flag as well. They didn't learn from David Baz or Jordan Pianazzola or Stephen Bull. The night of black flags. If you're not going to get
a black flag, you get a black flag. You get a black flag.
A bloody black flag. If you're not going to be brought undone by the Wall of Champions or the aquaplaning in qualifying, you're going to be brought undone by a big bloody black rectangle. What the hell? It didn't necessarily matter. They weren't in contention, but still, they'll be disappointed. They are back on the lead lap, but it made work a little bit more difficult for themselves. Black flags everywhere during that round of pit stops. And still with... Actually, Dave Oliver's got a second one. Dave Oliver's now coming back out. Has he cleared it? Yes, he has. He's all right. He's only just got back out onto the racetrack, though, so that's why that black flag's only just disappeared. David Baz still has one that he needs to clear once we go back to green. Ethan Morris, Adam Lavis, Angus Milne, Eric Fenton and Dylan Walker, the top five here. We're stunned by what's unfolded during that safety car interval. We had to wait 30 laps for it, ladies and gentlemen. Worth the wait for some. And it's left a couple of our regulars with their tail dangling between their legs, willing to salvage something out of this final 8 laps. 8 laps, that is all that's left. It is a full send to the checkered flag on the Ile Notre Dame. We're inside 12 minutes from time. We've been running 1 minute 24s. We're running all the way to the 65-minute mark tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourself in, buckle up, hold on tight. 8 laps remain, and it is the championship leader that brings us back to green. Let's go once more in Canada. Restart Ethan Morris. We go to turn 1. Adam Lavis going with him. Full send early from Mav, trying to defend Angus Milne. And Eric Fenson's in there as well. There's a podium here for the taking. Unless Stephen Bull can weave some magic from 9th. Fenson's gone. Eric Fenson's done. Can you believe that? Now, where has he pulled up more to the point, or was it a packet loss or something? He's plummeted down my timing screen. Let's have a look at this. Yep, it is.
Exit stage, right?
It's the old F4, isn't it? He's just gone, yep, I'm out, I'm done, gone. He didn't even tow, he just ejected himself from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve via catapult. Lavis trying to defend. Milne got by. Dylan Walker's all over him like a cheap suit. Milne's gone to second. Donahue up into 5th. Schmidtke Bull's up 2 spots already. Has the fastest over the race. Martin Davis, Jordan Pianazzola and Luke Page make up the top 10. 7 to go this time by the line. Inside the final 10 minutes. Here we go. We'll get all 7 in. Don't worry about that. Trouble.
Balls up to 6.
Greg Heaney. Greg Heaney in at the Wall of Champions, I think it was, Joe.
Oh,
yep. Oh, it's broken. It's gone for Greg Heaney. The Wall of Champions claims its second victim tonight.
Oh, too much gear. Whoa.
Oh, bang.
Slap.
Oh. That broke everything on the right-hand side of the car.
And his heart.
Yep. So Heaney will be with us shortly to review that, I'm sure. But not before he goes and has a stiff whiskey, I would imagine.
Milne's on the pace here. He's given Morris a bit of a hurry up at the moment.
And it's great to watch because Milne was on the pace last week. But things
Eric,
didn't go to plan in Oregon.
That's probably the second or third time you've done that this season, Eric. That'd be fair to say, I think. The cold tyre thing's getting you.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
With the green light up down the board there.
He was on for a top 5 too. They're all on the button. Who's got the most push to pass left? Ethan Morris is sitting pretty, 150 seconds. He learned his lesson from last week. He left himself stranded with none to use in the closing stages. Whoa, 1 minute 21.521, the fastest lap of the race so far, Ethan Morris.
Milne's gone with him. He just did a 21.55, so only 0.03 of a second difference between the leaders.
Everybody else in the 22s, Joe. So those boys have taken off. Lavis holding on to third. Maybe a podium coming for Mav. I know the others will have something to say about that, particularly Dylan Walker, Tom Donoghue, Stephen Bulls within a second and a half of these guys as well. Could have a four-way fight for third with 6 laps to go, 5.5. As they make it through the back section of the circuit once more. Look at Walker. On the button is Donoghue behind him. Lavis defends to the corner, to the hairpin. Now, this is important as far as Lavis's championship is concerned. I find it astonishing that he's picked up 2 fourth places. Sorry, no. 1 4th place and 1 6th place this season, but 11th, 10th and 12th. He's on track for his best run tonight. I hope I haven't just put the locker on him, but he's on for a 3rd. He's on for a 4th even. That'd be a 2nd, 4th of the season. A third top 6 finish for the campaign if he stays where he is. Across the start finish line we go.
Move by Walker. Grab too much curb.
Stephen Bull's run into trouble. He's fallen behind Luke Page. Now, what happened at the Wall of Champions there? We'll find out. Let's have a look at this. We were having a look.
Curb.
Watching the charge through the curb. God, he's flick spun it and got it back going, but not before losing a couple of spots. The charge ends abruptly for S. Bull. And now it's only a 3-way fight for third. He won't be joining in the front of the fair there. Lavis has got his work cut out for him to keep Dylan Walker and Tom Donoghue at bay. Really punching well so far. 4 laps to go at the line.
Oh, Dill.
Jeez.
Awkward on the exit too. That tripped him up, and he just pinched the brake, carried a little bit too much speed in there, and that's given Mav a little bit of a gap. Jordan Pianazzola's on the button in behind him. Yeah, Mav is pulling away from him out of corners, isn't he?
Yeah, and doing it well.
Dylan might have run over a curb there before and damaged the underside of the car, maybe.
Has Dylan got damage? No straight line speed. That could be a problem. Good observation from our friend across the ditch.
Here he goes.
To the outside. No. Lavis well aware of his presence. Through they go. Lavis defending for dear life to hold on to third. But if Walker has sustained damage, it's going to help his cause. No doubt about that. Eric Fenson still ruining what might have been in the comments section. Whoa, Lavis on the limit. Is he vulnerable? Yes, he is. There goes Walker to the outside. Lavis defends on the inside. He says, if you want to go around me, do it the long way. Work for it. Same message applies to Tommy Donoghue.
Oh, yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it. I wouldn't want to be in Dylan's
position. Dylan Walker's got a black flag. Dylan Walker's got a black flag, Joe. Dylan Walker's got a black flag. That robs him out of contention as well. It's been a disastrous night for Dylan Walker. Into pit lane he goes.
Frustrated. Oh, very frustrated there.
Donohue's got a slow down coming out of the final corner as well. Let's have a look at this. He flew past Adam Lavis. That would have spooked Adam, no doubt. And then he's mucked up the run into the lane anyway, so that'll hold him a little bit longer, just turn inside to injury. And considering how it ended when we were at Oulton Park, oh, he can't take a trick tonight. Lavis is holding on to third because Donohue had a slow down to serve, and he's now a second in arrears. This is opening up beautifully for Lavis to secure his first podium of the season. And Angus Milne as well. Oh, what a night in Canada. 2 top 5 finishes for Milne prior to tonight. Now he's about to find his way onto the podium. 2 top 6 finishes for Lavis so far tonight. He's on the cusp of finding his way onto the podium as well. Ethan Morris has checked out. 2.4 to the good. See you next Friday, he's saying to the all and sundry. Oh my goodness me. Road America, the next stop. We're excited about that. Oh, hang on. That means we're doubling up at the same venue next Friday night. GT1 into Indycar, both Road America.
Yes.
New beauty. Bring that on. Why haven't we been doing more double ups this season? Excellent. Rightio. My goodness, there's been some black flags handed out tonight. 2 laps to go. Have a look at how close we are on time. We're going to get there, no problem. In the nick of time. Thank goodness.
I tell you what, Mav still hasn't got it done. Tom Donohue is just absolutely putting the blowtorch to him after serving that slow down. He's sucked that, it was about 1.3 seconds back, and here he is all over the back of Mav.
Yeah. Lavis has 60 seconds to push the past to use. Donohue has 46. Pianazzola has only 5 seconds, and Jordan's staring down the top 5. Given the night he's had, what the hell? Down the outside goes Donohue. Not yet, not yet. Up and under maybe? No.
Both on the button.
On the limit. Here we go.
All by Schmidtke. Let's put Ball back up in 7th.
But Ball, an unlucky 7th in this instance. Still has 22 seconds to push to pass to use. White flag flies for Ethan Morris.
Oh, Donohue's had a great run out of the Wall of Champions. Mav is... Oh, I tell you, he's going to have to go deep.
No, not yet, no. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. That's awesome. Have a look at him.
Great
Leaving
racing.
nothing on the table. This is brilliant from your teammate. I mean, he can make that Delara as wide as humanly possible.
Larry
Tommy Donohue's
Perkins.
got no chance of breaking down that brick wall if Adam doesn't put a foot wrong.
Oh, Mav's run deep. He's going to be vulnerable down under the bridge.
And Donohue's got good push to pass up his sleeve as well. He'll use every bit of it if he needs to. Davis is on the button too. Half a lap to go. Morris on his way to victory number 5 and podium number 6 of the season, and one hand on the title. He had an advantage of 82 points coming into the round. So Ethan Morris will extend that advantage over Tom Donohue to the tune of 3 positions, to the tune of a handful of points, and just about put one hand and maybe a couple of fingers from the second hand on the title. Ethan Morris restores order after the disappointment of Portland and wins in Canada. Angus Milne second. Lavis held off Donohue for third. And Jordan Pianazzola is going to snag a top 5, just holding off Martin Davis and Stephen Ball. Wowee. Schmidtke held off Page, held off Walker, who was off track late in the piece. De La Rosa held off Snadden. Dave Oliver's going to come through 13th. Greg Heaney 14th, a lap down. And Scott Barchin a lap down as well in 15th, rounding out the field. Now, at the discretion of Adam Lavis, I know there are 2 protocols in place here. with regards to being in this server at the end and completing 75% race distance. Fenton and Baz both completed 75%, but whether they actually get the points depends on whether they've stayed in the server long enough to appease Adam Lavis and the race regulations as stipulated by the GSRC rulebook. But there you have it. So 17 guys technically in contention for points, and Leslie Reeves, the only actual retirement. So you've got a retirement and a potential classification on 75% protocols only. And if not, they'll get a not classified because they've left the server too early. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. My goodness me. Oh, you know what? I was just about to say hello, hello once more, Andrew Neil. Give me some final thoughts, and he's checked out.
He's bolted.
Couldn't get out of here quick enough. I think he's still recovering actually from last night's post-race show, which was a marathon, admittedly. In fact, they've probably run the marathon quicker than what our post-race show was last night. Ethan Morris, Angus Milne, then Adam Lavis, top three, 6.9 seconds, winning margin 4.3. Lavis held off Donahue to the tune of 0.4 of a second, and back to Jordan Pianazzola. I'm so pleased for Jordan. That's a nice way to end what was an otherwise frustrating week for him. We've got Greg Heaney standing by on the subject of frustration.
Hey, I finished, but if I broke it, I'm going to do it properly.
In 14th to the lap down after gracing the Wall of Champions with his presence. How appropriate. And then we had Martin Davis in behind. Stephen Bull was 7th. Matt Schmidtke, Luke Page and Dylan Walker the top 10. Yes, Stephen?
Here's the rain. It's just started.
Oh, of course it has.
Oh,
of course
no.
it has. The rain has arrived right just as we're done for the night. If that was a full distance race, we would have been finishing in the rain. Not to be. Not to be. That was fun. Stephen, disappointing way for that to finish, mate, because you had all the pace to keep Ethan as honest as you did last week. That was a cracking scrap while it lasted between you pair.
Yeah, always good fun to go wheel to wheel, especially for the lead. And Ethan in particular, he's pretty good steerer. So we weren't really on the same strategy there. He definitely had the strategy advantage on me, but just came in tonight thinking, I'll go full push. I'll see where the safety car lands and make what comes will. So it actually went all right for me. It equalised it in the end, just my own mistakes there. But these races where you fall back and you're given that chance to get back in the pack with fresh tyres, it's always it's a lot of fun. So come away from this smiling. So that's all you really want.
Exactly. Round the grounds before we go on the post-race show. Rabbitohs 22 leading Bulldogs 6. All square. 9-6 apiece. All square. Fremantle and Adelaide on a Friday night at Optus. But Freo haven't even kicked into 5th or 6th gear yet as far as I'm aware. So we'll wait and see what they bring to the table. Hello, Jordan, on that note. The Pride of South Australia wedging his way into the booth for the second time today, actually.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
For the benefit of those of you that weren't aware, the post-race show went into the wee small hours of this morning. We were off air by 11 o'clock, but we weren't out of Discord till after 4 a.m. And we all were looking at different time markers thinking, oh, yeah, we'll go now. And the conversation just kept flowing. It was fantastic.
Well, I popped in and out and kept telling you to go to bed.
You did, and we did eventually, and we only had a few hours sleep, and then we're up watching the cricket. I'll get to the cricket later. Angus Milne's joined us. Ethan Morris is here as well, and Jordan's here too, and Greg's here as well, and so too Stephen Bull. Stephen, how do you put the disappointment of that one behind you? I mean, obviously, you've had fun, and that's great. Tripped up by the pit lane entry, and it's an easy trap to fall into, as you saw you were the catalyst for about 4 or 5 others falling foul of exactly the same thing. So you were in good company. But how do you turn that around for next week when we get to Road America, please?
Yeah, it's on theme for Canada, but coming into the season, I didn't think I was going to be able to put quite the effort in I normally do. So haven't had my expectations shattered by any chance, but with the other rounds I've had, that's probably the championship in the bin for me. So not too stressed about it. Still just going to come out every week and go for wins where I can. And on to the next one. Road America's a favourite, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, and we are as well very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, from there, we go back to oval racing, Milwaukee, then to to Laguna Seca. I'm not here for Laguna, and then on to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to round it out. The strategy thing was interesting, Stephen, because you were on a 4-stop. The other guys were on a 3-stop. And because, I mean, it's interesting how the safety car played out. Last week it was incredibly early. This week, polar opposite, incredibly late. Probably the latest possible point we could throw it. But had it not been for tripping up on pit road, mate, that would have put you right in there in the game. We weren't sure where it was going to fall and who was going to be left disadvantaged or otherwise by that because of the varying strategies. I was a bit surprised by how varying the strategies were tonight.
Yeah, I didn't quite have a full tank to take, but I was taking tyres, so there was a chance I came out in second there. I think everyone was going to go for tyres. I didn't quite take note of what everyone did, but if anyone wanted to short fill, leave their tyres on, they would have been able to jump me there. But we were all equalised at that point, so it was sort of game on, and I don't think we really got to test each other's, or Ethan didn't really show his pace before that, so who knows where we would have been really, but would have been in it. But yeah, with the strategy, I had a bit of a think about it before the race, and my brain's a bit underclocked at the moment, so I thought I'm just going to send it, see where the safety car comes, and figure it out when that happens.
Yeah, and obviously just a little bit of a skirmish there in the last stint on the run home, possibly costing yourself a recovery to as high as the top 5, mate.
Yeah, all my own fault on that one, and the pit entry really. So, I think Ada made the call about the cursed numbers, but it's all my hands and feet doing the work tonight. So, only myself to blame. Had fun though, lots of battles in the pack, lots of good racing there. So, yeah, good stuff.
All right, very nicely done. I'm not sure. I'll throw it around the room. Obviously, Andrew Neal's not here at this point, but Joe, anything for Stephen?
Oh, look, mate, how do you bounce back from the disappointment of getting the black flag going into the pits there? You think it will affect anything going forwards, or you just keep on keeping on next week? And the rounds we got coming up at the moment, hang on, where are we? No, not that one, wrong button. I can't even find it. Race schedule, that's the one. So, Road America next week, and then we're back to an oval again. So, is there something, I suppose it's going to make you gun shy on pit entry a little bit, or you think you'll be right next week, get your head back in the game?
Yeah, on the safety car, maybe, single screens, you can't really see what's next to you, and, sort of, can I floor it, can I not? And, it's a bit hard, but you deal with it, I guess. Yeah, go a bit slower. Maybe just, chuck the limiter on nice and early and no one's allowed to pass you. But, in terms of getting your head back in it for the race, it's just figuring out, where your strengths and weaknesses are and how you can use them to get back through. I thought we were going to be fuel saving to the end there when the safety car came out, but it went sort of long enough that didn't happen. And, I was just trying to plan how I was going to use other people's fuel saving to try and get past them and whatnot. But, ended up just being full throttle to finish.
Certainly looks like your confidence in the car, and you've early on in the season you probably were maybe a little bit behind Ethan on pace, but the last couple of weeks your pace seems to really come up, and confidence under braking is probably where I see it from the outside. You think that's probably something that you've worked on and you've strengthened, because you put a couple of good big ball moves on Ethan there in that middle stint there on the red tyres. It was some good moves. So is that where you think your pace has come in, confidence in the braking, or what part of your driving do you think you've worked on to bridge that gap to Ethan?
Yeah, I put a lot of hours into Portland, so I've definitely become a bit more comfy with the car, and that includes stamping on the brakes a bit, but also just sort of finding that aggressiveness. I'm normally pretty laid back and just try and make passes with strategy and whatnot, but just trying to change that up a bit, get a bit more done on track, and find that aggressiveness. So that's sort of been helping, especially, when you see those moves, Ethan's usually fuel saving, and I've seen that and tried to, use that to my advantage. But yeah, there's definitely a bit more confidence after Portland with all the practice I did for that one.
Yeah, very good. No, well, that's about all I've got for him at the moment, Zach.
Very nicely done. I think we'll let him go and recoup from the night that was. On that note, actually, no, there's one more. I just thought of it. Which side of the fence were you on, Stephen? Because when we arrived, it was absolutely pissing down. You guys were aquaplaning everywhere during qualifying. And we're looking at that thinking, oh, you beauty, we might have a wet race on our hands tonight. And then all of a sudden, it's as dry as a cucumber when we throw you out there for the warm-up, and it's a very, very dry circuit for the majority of the race. A couple of little puddles here and there, as you see on the screen, but mostly dry. Would you have preferred it to be that way or the other way around and have a wet race for a change?
I was looking forward to a wet race. I think the quali conditions are probably going to be a little bit too much. It would have been probably carnage at the start, but as the cars spread out, would have got a bit better, but definitely would have been hard to race in. I would have liked some rain. I was kind of hoping that it would follow the forecast and come in late and just, throw the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. But I think these conditions where you just get those little puddles at the apex, that's the worst. I'd rather go either way of that, just because you got confidence everywhere, and then you touch one, and all of a sudden you're sideways. So it destroys your rhythm.
All right, very nicely done. I look forward to getting the answer from everybody else where they sit with regards to that. As the post-race show rolls on, we're at, what are we at? 6 minutes past 10, 8:06 on the West Coast, just after midnight in New Zealand. Great to have your company, Stephen Ball. Thank you. Appreciate that. And hopefully bouncing back next week when we get to Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin. Who would you like to thank?
Broadcast team and the stewards, as always. Always a great experience in this race.
All right, very nicely done. Terrific to catch up with you, mate. Thank you for that.
Cheers, guys.
And have a good weekend as well. Adam Lavis already crunching the numbers for us, ladies and gentlemen, which is good because we've got a bit of housekeeping to do during this post-race show, so we may as well spread that out. We'll get to championship points a little bit later on, but Joe, before I continue this post-race show, I think we need to drum up the wheel and go spinning and work out what we're going to do for MtnMen tomorrow night. That's the one. So we've got the Lotus 79 on the wheel. We've got the Formula Ford, the Z4 GT3 BMW, the Euro NASCAR, the Toyota 86, the Lotus 79. So a good eclectic mix of race cars there. Which one will be the car of choice for tomorrow night's MtnMen excursion? Oh, yes! The Lotus 79 gets it.
Thank God.
By the skin of its teeth. Jordan Pianozola relieved just because it's not the bloody BMW. Lotus 79 wins it. There you go for 32 laps of open wheel madness around Mount Panorama tomorrow night. Very, very nice. Now, so you'll enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen, 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. Now, I want to preface that by saying that obviously the MtnMen's not broadcast. So best of luck to our colleagues at the Australian Sim Racing Group. You've got Saturday night motorsport this week in the form of qualifying in the shootout for Sunday's 1,000. 6:15 Eastern tomorrow night, right around Australia. So no sooner does play wrap up in Darwin, you can go have a tinkle upstairs, come back down, make a coffee, get a cold one out of the fridge, whatever the case may be. Park your backside on the lounge, watch the qualifying and shootout sessions, and then at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning, park yourself there all day long. Cricket on one screen, great race on the other, and we're looking forward to that. And of course, I won't give away spoilers, but the co-driver clash has already been run and won. It was running simultaneously, concurrently with what we were doing here. And for the sake of getting on air and not making a deal of myself on Sunday, I'm going back to watch that a little bit later on so that I can make some notes and do some homework ready for Sunday's 1,000. So looking forward to that. Good luck to everybody there. Massive week for them. Continuing what's been a massive week of sim racing in this country. Now, it's also been a massive week of Australian motorsport news, and I'll come back to today's shambles and circus acts and collateral damage and everything else a little bit later on as well. Fremantle and Adelaide, it's 11.975 place 10.969 at the moment. So Freo on top there. The Rabbitohs over the Bulldogs 22-6 in Friday night NRL. We'll get to you very shortly, Jordan. And Ethan Morris, stand by. I'm coming to you in just a tick. But I want to go to Angus Milne first, because you had the pace last week at Portland, but you weren't able to convert it. Must have been nice to be able to turn it around tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to be up here tonight. It's the whole season for me has been a bit like that. Missed out on 2 races, but it was definitely a painful moment coming into the pits under that when the pit entry was closed. So
yes,
I've learnt that lesson. I won't do that again. But yeah, it was nice to be able to convert it tonight.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned that you missed 2 rounds. I'm taking it that might have been external circumstances.
Yeah, no. I'll be here whenever I can. That was other things being busy. I'm in the middle of exams at the moment, so getting here was a struggle in itself. But, you know, nice to have a break from it all, and it's good fun racing these cars.
I do not envy you with the exams. I really don't. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that rubbish anymore. But all the very best to you with them. I hope they go well. Let's talk about the racing, though, because obviously this is a nice little outlet, you know, to relax, distract yourself from everything else that's going on, or take a break from it, as you say, because you go insane if you're stuck to that task 24/7, right? So talk to me about what you, how you juggle that, and how you, I mean, obviously, let's be perfectly honest, this is far from the most relaxing thing one can do when they're trying to take a break from study. So how do you juggle that, knowing that it still requires a lot of brainwave and matter? You've got to be switched on. We know that you're a pretty good operator when it comes to steering these things, but how compromised has your ability been to get in and be behind the wheel on a regular basis, considering that you have been juggling external commitments?
Well, this season as a whole for me, it's my first real proper go in the IndyCars. So I'm just sort of taking it as it comes. I'm happy that I've got some good pace. I've got some good teammates around me as well who are also quick and helping me get quicker. So, you know, just happy to give it a go and see where I end up, see if I can get a bit close to the likes of Ethan and Stephen next season and just see what happens.
No, very nicely done. Talk us through the strategy play tonight, mate. I mean, it was a pretty good race on your part. I'm just having a look at the results as they come in here. We were talking about the fact that you've got a couple of DNRs next to your name. I've got updated championship points very shortly, which I'll get to. I'm just scrolling down the order. I've lost you in my sheet here. Here you are, 9th on points at the moment. So 7th, 5th, 5th and 2nd after starting 3rd on the grid. So 1 position gained. At least you managed to go forward. I take it that's at the total expense of Stephen Bull after he's had his little extra stay in pit lane during the round of pit stops.
Yeah, I reckon it would have been interesting how it played out with 3 of us at the front there really going for it, as well with Adam in the mix too. Most of my pace seem to be able to stick with those guys for the first 3 or 4 laps of the stint and then drop off at the end. So it would have been interesting to see what happened, but obviously Ethan was too quick and I couldn't keep up with him at the end there.
Something about him at the moment. He is the benchmark. Stephen pegged him back a little bit last week by getting the job done at Portland in Oregon, but he quickly restored order, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, seeing Ethan out there, you think you do a good lap and he goes 0.3 quicker. That's always great to see. But look, racing with all these guys who are obviously very experienced and very good at these cars, it's good to be able to race with some people where you can watch their laps and learn some things and hopefully get quick too.
Do you find it hard to, because obviously these guys have been here all week, every week, that you're coming and going at the moment, do you find it hard to get into the rhythm or do you take to it pretty easily?
I usually give myself a few days beforehand just to prepare where I can. These cars, I find them really fun to drive, so it's not like a hard task to want to get into them and give them a crack, especially with the calendar we've had lined up so far. Road America will be good, but I'm hanging out for the oval races to see how I go because I have little to no experience whatsoever. So new experience for me. Interesting to see how it goes.
Nice. I want to come back to get a comment off you regarding the car in just a moment, but let's talk about the fact that your schedule has been compromised. The next 4 weeks, do we expect to see you once, twice, 3 times, or will you be able to tick all the boxes, or is that still up in the air at the moment?
All going to plan, I should be here for the next 4 weeks. I don't have anything that I know of that's keeping me away. So I don't know how the drop rounds work. There's 1, 2, something like that. But
yeah, so
I'll try and be here where I can.
Let's cover that off, right? Because it'll educate you and it'll also remind everybody else at home, bit of a refresher course. And I can see Greg Heaney's microphone lighting up and down as well. So no, I was going to say, if I wasn't going to fill in the gaps there, I know you would have. You know the stuff back to front. But basically, you got 2 drop rounds. So basically, you've already burnt yours. So there are benefits to that, but there are also cons to that as well. So the pros are you're dropping 0. So your points haul at the moment, plus whatever you pick up next week, is the points haul that you'll have at the end of next week. However, the fallback, and this is where Ethan Morris is in a very, very enviable position at the moment, and Stephen Bull's not too far away. The enviable position for those guys is that they do have the advantage even with the drop rounds coming into the equation. For you, the big disadvantage over the next couple of weeks is you can't afford to trip up. You can't afford to slip up anyway, shape or form. You've got to make the most out of these next 4 weeks as you possibly can to try and maximise your finishing position in the championship, mate.
Yeah, well, look, as I said before, this season's a bit of me just getting into things. Obviously, I want to do as well as I can, but if something happens, something happens. And as was at Portland, it's all a learning experience. And if I do something too silly, hopefully I won't do it again.
Anyway, let me go back before I forget, talking about the car, right? So what was the incentive? What enticed you to come and give Indycar a little bit of a crack, mate? And how much are you enjoying that challenge? And is there still room for improvement in your opinion?
Well, obviously, with the big group of us that was driving the SFL before, that was sort of where I was sticking at. But moving into the IndyCar was sort of the next logical step. I got the Indy next to go and had teammates saying, come try the IndyCar, it's really good fun. So I was like, yeah, I may as well. I got in the car and the first thing was like, wow, this thing's amazing. So, keen to stick with it and just see what happens.
Very nicely done. Sorry, I was trying to lubricate the tonsils with a little bit of drink, so I apologise. I was trying to clear that down so I could ask the next question. You may have already guessed, folks, based on my comments earlier in the week about the Pan Pacific Championships on the 9 Network. I'm not a fan of dead air. Actually, by the way, neither is the 9 Network. So if you watched the Pan Pacific Championships yesterday, and I mentioned this to the boys in the chat thread last night, if you mentioned this, if you watched the Pan Pacific Championships yesterday morning at 3 a.m, day 1 of the heats, they showed nearly 2 hours of television with not a single piece of commentary. You heard all of the internal stuff that was going on in the venue itself, the announcements of what event we're up to and who was in what lane and all that crap, but you didn't actually get play-by-play. By midday, the world feed commentary that they were dishing out for the finals, you could have driven as a fleet of B doubles through the gaps in the commentary on the broadcast, and this was on the main channel. It was absolutely disgraceful. Kerry Packer would have been rolling in his grave. But thankfully today, for day 2 of the finals, they're taking the NBC sport feed out of the United States. So it's a much better product now and hopefully will remain so for the rest of the weekend. I reckon there would have been a couple of mercy calls on and a couple of hurried phone calls to make some arrangements there with the NBC network to make that happen, because normally the NBC sports crew is an affiliate of the 7 network here in Australia, at least with regards to NBC Today and other things. So yes, that was rather amusing. Going back to you, Angus. You mentioned the challenges that come with Milwaukee and Indianapolis, and let's not worry about them immediately. We'll talk more about that next week. What are your immediate thoughts on Road America and what you might bring to the table there, and if you can take the fight to Stephen and Ethan once more?
Well, I like Road America as a track. It should be good fun. It'll be a lot obviously wider and more flowing than it is here was here in Canada. So it'll be interesting to see how everyone goes. It should be good for racing. Hopefully long straights and lots of slipstream mean I can hook onto those guys a bit better. But it'll just be a case of, seeing how the strategy plays out. That's always the big question coming into the week. And once we figure that out, just getting as much pace as I can out of the car.
Very nicely done. Joe, anything for Mr. Milne while we've got him?
No, not really.
All right, very nicely done. Well done tonight, buddy. Solid bounce back after the disappointment of Portland. You only make that mistake once, right? You instantly learn that and remember it from that point forward. You're not silly enough that it's going to trip you up twice, right?
No, not planning on doing that one again. I'll be keeping a very close eye on the safety cars from now on.
Absolutely. They are a bit of a game changer, and they are a bit of a random lottery jackpot sort of thing. We don't know exactly where they're going to fall. Last week, remarkably early. This week, remarkably late in the piece. Who would you like to thank, mate, before we let you go?
Just thank you to everyone at Everything Simulated VRT. Those guys look after me really well. Obviously, sponsored by Everything Simulated, Scorester and Group Line. Without them, wouldn't be here doing this now. And thanks to you guys as well for putting on a great broadcast and fun racing as well. Ethan, Stephen, everyone else in the race. It's great fun.
All right, very nicely done. Terrific to catch up with you, mate. Thank you for stopping on by the booth. Appreciate that. Go well. We'll look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Yeah, planning on it. Thanks, guys.
Oh, Tommy Donohue's throwing some shade from the comment section, if you can see that too, mate. Wait until Angus finds out all the oval penalties. Oh, dear. Yes, a bit more education yet when we get to the last two ovals of the season. Go well, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, how good. Ethan Morris, Jordan Pianazzola, Greg Heaney on the way. Freo by 7 points over Adelaide. Friday night football at Optus Stadium. How good's Friday night football in the West been so far this season? Ethan Morris, how sweet is redemption? That's more like it.
Yeah, good to sort of, I guess, be back to, not to gloat too much, but I guess usual proceedings. It's nice to be, I'm very, very happy with how that race went in every aspect. I know last week, I was a bit disappointed with the poor execution, I thought, on my part, with the errors made, and of course it cost me the win. So yeah, a bit more focus this week, a bit more time put in, and I think I well and truly paid off. So yeah, very, very happy with how this is going.
It certainly looked far more polished than last week. Although, let's be perfectly honest, I would have really liked to have seen how that played out if our mate Stephen Ball didn't get slugged an invoice on pit road.
Yeah, I was a bit unsure why because we've gone through the pit cycle and I've come out in front and I was expecting Stephen to be right behind me. And I was a little bit concerned. I was thinking the same thing you guys were. It was like, okay, with the way the safety cars come out, we might actually have about 10 laps of green left, which would mean we have to save fuel potentially to get to the end. Of course, with the longer safety car, that didn't end up being a thing. But yeah, that was sort of the thought in my mind is I'm going to have to fuel save and Stephen's going to be right behind me. So it's going to be, I think it would have been a bit of a back and forth. I likely would have been a little bit like the oval, to be honest, where I might have had to let Stephen through a bit, sit in the slipstream, get a bit of fuel save done there and then try and pass him again. But then around here, it's a bit tricky. So I think there would have been, very interesting to see how it played out. But yeah, unlucky to see as we cycled out, see Stephen in sort of 9th or 10th or something, thinking what's going wrong there. And then, clicked that, he's probably passed somebody coming into the pit lane. And, what do you know? I think that was what happened.
All right, very nicely done. When we talk about that race, we talk about the execution of it from your part, as you say, tenfold compared to last week. Huge improvement. Far better execution of push to pass. And I dare say tyre strategy was something you gave more consideration to as well.
Yeah, here, especially with the fact that we didn't get as wet of a race as I thought we were going to get, where we had, a couple puddles on the apex, but that was about it. No threat of rain through the race. It meant that today was all about driving just as fast as you needed to. And I think that's where, most of the stints, there was either a fuel save, which sort of combo with tyre saving. And even in that last stint where we only had 8 laps, I was still sort of trying to be nice to the tyres in those first few laps because it's very easy to overcook them here. Just because of the nature of, the long straights at Montreal and the corners still being pretty fast. The tyres never really get an actual chance to cool down. So it just meant that, there was a lot of focus on that. And I think that's where it's paid off, where you see, early in a stint, Angus or Stephen did keep up, but as time went on, I'd start to pull a gap because I've just done that little bit of extra care on the tyres and just kept that extra bit of pace.
Very nicely done. Let's talk about a couple of other things here as well. We mentioned the wet weather. Would you have preferred it to be wet race, dry quali, or are you happy with how it played out?
I would have preferred a wetter race, but not the quali conditions. Quali conditions were by far the worst that I've driven all week. Yeah, I would label those like sport-ending conditions, like obituary sort of conditions, because that's just
gotcha. Yep.
Like it was it's the sort of thing where I can't see the road. It's like I'm driving on a mirror. I was very happy that I still put together like a pretty good quali lap. So I was glad to still stick it on pole, but to say it was easy and something I was prepared for was 100% wrong. But yeah, I would have liked it, ideal for me, I think I'd find it most enjoyable is it's sort of start wet and go to dry through the race. Have that transition from wets to slicks, which I think is what we're hopefully going to get at Road America next week. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for. That's what the forecast seems to look like. So see how things pan out. Might get what we want then. But I would have put a bit of a wetter race today than what we had.
It was certainly an interesting setup. There's no doubt about that. And a good point of discussion throughout the course of the post-race show so far. And as you said, very quickly, you guys figured out that there wasn't too much water on the racetrack. So that just meant that you had to slightly amend your driving line, because if you got too greedy with the ribble strips, it spat you out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just, being careful. Fortunately, as the race goes on, even with the sort of 20 cars or so on track, those piles start to dry up a bit more. So it gets easier as the race goes on. But those first few laps were still a bit of a sighting period. And the warm-up that we got as well, I think, beforehand helped sort of ease a bit of the concern and make it a bit easier on the tyres, which I think, in a way, kind of spoiled the start a little bit in my eyes. But I can understand, rather than having everyone just get tossed in and have to see how the conditions are like when the race is live, I can understand it's a bit easy for people if they have 5 minutes to just see, okay, what's that actually going to look like?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And in the end, we had a fascinating battle between you and Stephen for the most part. I mean, it's clear that he's bringing an extra gear to the second half of the season, mate. He's going to make you work harder and harder each week for the victories, it feels.
Oh, 100%. Stephen's taken a massive leap within the season, especially last week, the effort, as he said, he put a fair few hours in, that definitely paid off. He was super rapid. And even here, in practice, just in the warm-up today, I wasn't that much faster than him. I think even on the primaries, he might have actually been the faster driver. So if we were pushing the whole time. So it would have been interesting, I think, to see if the safety car didn't come out when it did, and unfortunately how things panned out with it there. I think if it had come out a little bit earlier, it might have been more interesting to see how the strategies played out and how they sort of came together. But, that's just the nature of the random caution. We don't choose when it comes out. We can't really predict it. So yeah, a bit disappointed that we didn't get to have as much of a hands-on fight, but I know in the laps that we were racing close and I was having to fight him a little bit for it. Definitely a lot of fun. Stephen's really great to race against. Always gives me, he's smart about giving room, that he's not going to make it easy for you, but if you do make a move, you can be confident to make it, not know you're going to get your nose chopped off. And I hope that he feels the same way about how he races me.
And it was a cracking scrap there on multiple occasions throughout the course of the first three stints. There's no doubt about that. Road America, where does that stack up as far as circuits you like are concerned?
I put it pretty up there. I wouldn't necessarily call it an outright favourite, but definitely one of my stronger ones. And I'm hoping with the rain there as well, it'll be an extra little bit of an advantage. But we'll see how things pan out.
And these things in the rain, we talk about how difficult they are or how good they are, depending upon which side of the fence you sit on, with regards to how you've handled your IndyCar driving experience so far, or how you found it anyway. We talk about this all the time. Once you add water, it's the great equaliser, but also trying to wrestle these things around. Apart from driving to the conditions, you've got to be more switched on than usual. They can be a real handful.
Oh, 100%. These sort of things, you put a little bit too much power on and you just rotate. There's no slipping and sliding around. It's very easy to get it wrong. And it's something where, if you want to maximize your lap time, you've also got to be familiar with the car and its tools that you can use to adjust in car, just to make sure that you're even corner to corner in some situations, just to make sure that you've got the exact right setup going into it. But yeah, overall, this car's fantastic in the wet. I think it's a hell of a thing to drive. And yeah, just the sort of the level of risk, because it can be so sketchy, but sketchy is fun. No doubt about that.
Indeed it is. 83-76 Fremantle over Adelaide as we go around the grounds for you, ladies and gentlemen, because that is live in the fourth quarter at the moment, and we will have the full-time score before we sign off tonight. Joe, anything for Heath?
Mate, when are you going to stop winning?
No.
Nah, look, Dude, seriously, awesome driving tonight. Just keeping your head under the pressure that Steve was laying on you. He's certainly making you work for it now. And a couple of the guys there, like Angus, he was all over you. And yeah, you don't seem to be having it as easy as early in the season. Looks like some of the guys are starting to step up and pressure you a little bit more.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's good to see as well. Like, you know, it's always nice to have a good challenge for the win. It makes it always feel a bit more earned. And it's always gratifying, you know, to have a good race. Because at the end of the day, we're here to have fun. And it's more fun when you got guys side by side and you're battling with. So 100% invite the challenge. And they're pushing me to give it a bit more as well. So it goes both ways. You know, I'm helping them to step up in terms of, you know, having that motivation. But then it also motivates me to keep pushing as well.
Very nice. Well done on the win again. So which of the upcoming rounds you probably look forward to the most? Like you like the oval stuff, or you're more on the road side?
Out of the remaining rounds, Indianapolis is still going to be, you know, that's the highlight of the whole season for me. So that's the thing, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel almost in a sense. But overall, I think, yeah, that and Laguna Seca, I think will be fun. It'll just depend exactly on how the conditions pan out. If it's a very hot track, it might be a bit sketchy. But I like that track. And Road America, you know, next week, if it does remain sort of a wet-ish race, that'll be a hell of a lot of fun as well. End of the day, as I sort of said, I think right at the beginning of the season too, is like Adam's done a fantastic job with this schedule because it's just banger, banger, banger. Just all 100% awesome tracks, perfect for this car. So you really can't go wrong, I feel, almost.
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to it, especially Milwaukee. But that's just the oval race for me. Well done tonight, mate. Great drive.
I must say, the one thing I can think of, I always throw to Joe because I need to get my head straight and try and think of another question. Sometimes I'm just drawing blanks, but one thing I will come back to, strategy was interesting because it was clear that Stephen was on a 4-stop and you were able to make a 3-stop work. Again, we'll never know which one was going to be the better of the two because Stephen got tripped up on pit road, but it was a more interesting dynamic than usual. There was more variance in strategy play than what we've usually seen, Heath.
Yeah, I know. Like this week, it was you said the two strategies could have worked. I know I'd sort of done practice on doing the 4-stop, and in my eyes, it's sort of I felt the fuel save was a bit more low risk. Just because of the fact that we're sort of talking about, tires and overheating them when you're having to go full push all stint, especially those primaries on this when you're having to double stint them. And at the end of the day, you're also having a double stint. Like you might have to go primaries again because you're doing 4 or 5 stints total. So the fact that if it was going to be dry, you'd only have 2 tire changes. It was looking like it'd be pretty sketchy at points. And I thought if I'm going to have to be racing guys because everyone's stepping up. My thought is I'd rather be in a situation where I've got a tyre advantage just because it's better for battling. And so end of the day, made the call, yep, we'll go for the fuel save. And I think in the end, it would have been faster. Like the end of the day, the longer it took for the safety car to come out, the better it looked for me, I felt. And so in turn, as we got quite a late safety car compared to last week, there was a little bit of concern with sort of the reset of the field, but end of the day, I knew I had pace in the tank. I knew I had fresh tyres because of that fuel save. So yeah. Overall, I think it's really, really good balance on the strategy this week in terms of how the event was set up. So, yeah, props for that.
All right, very nicely done. How does your racing schedule look like for the next week, please?
Continuing on, Indycar iRacing Series continues on with the real-life calendar continuing on as well. So, for me, next week it'll be interesting because the calendar's actually split where over here we're going to Road America, of course, but we're actually going to Chicago next weekend for the IndyCar, like the full race series, because it's meant to be a placeholder for the Washington race in real life. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes because I'll be practicing 2 tracks in the 1 week. So I think with Road America being something I'm familiar with, I'll still be able to be pretty quick. But I'll be driving 2 very different cars and lead up next week. So I'll be interested to see if that means that I'm a little bit slower on pace, but I'm not going to say write myself off by any means.
All right, very nicely done. And I wouldn't be writing you off either, quite frankly. That form so far this season, 5 wins in a second. You're in formidable touch. Really good stuff. Busy week ahead for you. And anything beyond the IndyCar in due course or not?
No, at the moment it's the main focus, and because of the fact that we had the 10 weeks here, I treat this very much as a hobby. It's not necessarily I don't treat this as something where I'm going to end up trying to turn it into a job. So you'll probably find honestly after this season's done, and that's the full IndyCar season's done as well. So the full length races are done there. you know, I'll probably end up taking a break for probably a couple months. I probably won't be back in the sim until after Christmas, if I'm being honest. But we'll see what happens. You know, if something looks interesting to me, I'll come along and check it out. But certainly it's something where normally after this season's done, I'll probably end up taking a bit of a break.
Very nicely done, mate. Terrific to catch up with you as per usual. Well done. Magnificent performance. Pushed 3/4 of the way, and there's no reason to think that it wouldn't have been all the way had Stephen not got slugged the invoice that 4 others later got dealt as well. So, no, congratulations. Magnificent performance. One hand on the championship. And as you saw there earlier, we may as well run through them again for the benefit of everybody at home. The lead is now a race win. It's 100 points. And you are well clear of Tommy Donahue, who has a good buffer of 54 points back to Adam Lavis, Martin Davis 450, 447 for Luke Page. So 633 plays 533, 479, 450 and 447. Stephen Bull loses a spot tonight to Luke Page, 444 points. In fact, you both lose a position because Martin Davis climbs up into 6th spot. And most positions gained for Martin, +9. So we got the bonus points there. Ran a clean race as well. So he got 3rd for the round despite being 6th across the line. Which will be an interesting point of discussion from Tom Donahue, Adam Lavis and co a little bit later on, because the bonuses make all the difference there with Martin Davis going up into 92 points. So most positions gained and a clean race, getting him across the line of Adam Lavis, who finished 3rd on track. Very nicely done, mate. Thank you for that. 100 points up your sleeve. As good as a race to the good, but you need a little bit more because there's bonus points on the line at Indy with it being an extra long race.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm going to slow down. You know, it's nice to have that buffer, of course. But, you know, as I said last week, the goal will be to make sure that Portland race is a drop round. So we'll continue to push. And I'm going to have to push to keep up with the guys here as everyone else continues to get better and better.
I love it. Very nicely done, mate. Go and enjoy the rest of the night and the weekend.
You too, guys. Cheers.
Greg Heaney, Jordan Pianazzola. Greg,
Yes.
The Wall of Champions bites hard.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, if I'm gonna absolutely destroy the car, I'm gonna do it properly.
Yep, correct. Up until that point, how was the race going for you?
Oh, yeah, it was going all right. I had a few little slips here and there, and a few missed break points on the run down to the last chicane. So you had to take the escape road through the infield of the last corner there. So I lost a few positions out that way, but look, I wasn't doing too bad. And then having we're not entirely sure how and or why on the second lap round after the pits opened, they were basically closed. We don't know if it was the extension of the safety car or if it was something else that came into play. So yeah, I wasn't going to make it on fuel for another lap, so I had to take to the pits after getting the wave by past the safety car. And then, unfortunately, yeah, it's like, hang on, what? I didn't even realise that it said it was a closed pit lane, and I just basically flew straight in. I ended up having to drop to the end of the longest line, which, whilst sitting in 11th, had to let one car past me whilst still sitting in 11th. And then, yeah, obviously, off the restart, ended up sideways into the wall.
I was going to say, I'm half expecting our good mate Dave Oliver to grace us with his presence here at some point. He was out there tonight, but he too had a night to forget. That car scraped the concrete, and he had a couple of black flags handed to him. He ended up on pit road more times than anybody, I think, but at least he persevered with it and still got home. Oh dear, a night to forget for him, but I'm sure he'll be in here to have a chat about all the other stuff that's been going on today, of which I'm getting to very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. The interesting thing is, Greg, it was like Jordan, it was a double header for you. Give me a quick summation of how you fared in GT1, please.
Race 1 was the meatball flag was not handed to me, and it was just yes, the car is bent, but I'm still finishing this race in the position that I'm in. And then race two was watching the chaos unfold between turn 1 and 3 off the restart, and picking up a bunch of positions, and also copping. No, sorry, that was race 1. Yeah, I copped a nudge on the back in race 1 after watching some incidents happen in front of me, and then race 2 was kind of the same, but obviously I was sitting a little bit further back. But race 2 wasn't terrible. And I mean, look, I survived. The car was straight. I think I made it through. Oh, no, I didn't make it through with 0 incident points, because the nature of the GT1 around Oulton Park, the car just feels way too big for the track. It honestly felt like a goat track at some points, where you'd be lucky if you could fit 2 cars side by side, particularly ones of that size. And yeah, I mean, look, I made it through. I'll take the points for what I got, but yeah, I'm kind of glad to see the back of that one.
Well, you're right. It is a goat track. I'm sure that's something Jordan Pianazzola will attest to as we welcome him into the commentary box at this particular point in time. He just needs to unmute his microphone. There he is.
Hello.
Oulton Park, goat track. Typical Britain, isn't it? I mean, there's bugger all places to overtake. It's narrow as all buggery. Like Greg, I'm quite happy to see the back of it. But at the end of the day, for some people, it was an all right night. It dished up some okay racing. I mean, Dylan Walker still got the tail dangling between the legs. Race 1 wasn't necessarily the best for you, but you were able to turn it around in race 2, and then a strong result in the Indycar as well, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the UK's probably only good circuit is Silverstone. Like everything else is just small and tiny, and not worthy of having a big car like we had. But what did you just go R about?
I was wondering why you didn't get the most positions gained tonight, but that's because you didn't qualify.
Well, I tried.
In the IndyCar. Yes, right. We'll come back to that in a moment. Keep going with Oulton Park, please.
But yeah, look, it's tough. I'm not great in the GT1s. I feel like there's so much more I can learn in those cars. But I don't really care. I'm fine with the pace I'm at, because I don't know what's going to come next season, but I don't know if GT1s will be staying or not. But I mean, if they stay around, then yeah, I probably need to do a bit more practice. But it is what it is with the pace wise. But race 2, I shot myself in the foot when I went off at that fast left kink and nearly went head first into the tires. But it was just try and not lock up and have a mistake, which is very easy to do in those GT1s. I still need to buy those haptic things that can go on my pedals so I can feel a bit more. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't too great. It wasn't anything special. There wasn't a failure or anything. But Oulton was what it was. But yeah, it's just one of those tracks. Like Greg said, it's a goat track. It's just impossible to pass around there.
Indeed it is. We were very happy to get away from there. For the first and only time this season next week, gentlemen, we go to the same venue for both. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. Jordan, I think we have to talk about the IndyCar race for you, mate, because it was a bag of mixed fortunes, but at least it was a strong finish and a decent result too.
Yeah, I was happy how that one turned around. I actually got done for a black flag on my entry.
We saw that. We saw that. Yeah.
And that was because I apparently passed the safety car, but I don't know.
Stephen Bull can sympathise with you. In fact, he might be able to educate you on what that's all about. And he's still in the booth with us, by the way.
I don't know what's about going too quick. Just doing what race drivers should and blasting people, why the black flag?
Yeah.
Look,
but that's the trip hazard of that pit lane, isn't it? And really, like, it's I get it, it's there, but this is why Nick Fodiatis used to always say practice your pit entries. That's number one. But number two, this is why every racetrack's different. We saw someone got absolutely reamed in the rear end there tonight because we had one driver going into pit lane, so going full tilt because their braking marker was different to somebody else's. but that somebody else was trying to pull up and go into the chicane to go past the wall of champions. So there are things that we love about this circuit, but that pit entry process is definitely not one of them.
No, I mean, it done me dirty to some degree. It was a 30-second hold, and I finished 15 seconds off the leader at the end of the race. But I'm not saying I would have won the race just because of that. But, I mean, look, I might have had another position. I don't know, top 5. I'm happy with the top 5 anyways. I'm just annoyed that I didn't get a quali lap in because I missed out on the bonus, 11 or 12 points.
Correct. Would you have liked to have been able to string a lap together in the monsoonal rain?
Yeah, I think I was, on par for 5th or 6th in qualifying. I think it was a 1:36 or something that I was gonna do, but yeah, I felt alright on that first lap, and then I mucked up going into the chicane at the end, and then I was like, okay, cool, whatever, reset. But I accidentally cut that chicane, and then I went to accelerate to go start lap 2, but it said I had to do a slowdown, so I basically had to come to a standstill on the straight and then accelerate off. So I was obviously slow going to turn 1, and then I was like, this isn't going to be a great lap, and then at turn 3 I bowled myself into the dirt anyways. Yeah. So that just didn't go too great in qualifying. And yeah, the no extra bonus points, but yeah, it was a race of 2 halves. Got shafted by Schmidtke on lap 13. I don't know if you caught that at all, but
that's yep. We saw that. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Poor old Schmitty. What is it with regards to you and running into people that reside in this booth on a regular basis or semi-regular basis this week, please?
I don't know. This week has been one hell of a week for that to happen. It has been absolutely nuts, man.
I haven't run into him yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
But I did basically curse you for Formula V's.
But yeah, that's exactly right. And he's trying to give Joe the push along down the back straight at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and Joe's ended up getting written off. So yes, everybody.
I nearly got involved with Joe, and Brinker got me. So
everybody in this booth knows what it's like to have had a run-in with somebody else, albeit unintentionally in the case of Greg and Joe, trying to work together, and iRacing just did not want to cooperate. My goodness, what a week it has been. Greg, quick comment on your teammates that were out there tonight. It was good to see Luke Page, good to see Dane Snadden back on the platforms of the GSRC as well.
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't expecting Dane to be on track tonight. He popped in just towards the end of the end of practice. So yeah, good to see Dane back on track. Luke, I think Luke wasn't on track last week, so good to see him back as well. And a decent run from both the guys. There was a comment in the chat from Maddie to Dane of hang on to it or something. So I'm assuming Dane was probably sideways at some point in front of Matt. But good to see some more of the guys on track and having a go.
Absolutely, and also that applies to GT1. As well, although any explanation as to why Trav just pulled off onto an escape road in race 2 there in the GT1, because that caught us off guard. We weren't expecting that.
He may or not have overshot the lollipop dude by a pit base. And then he's just like, nah, I'm going to get ready for race control.
Oh, very good. Very good. Just threw the water out of the bath, did he?
To a point.
To a point. Oh dear. It's been that sort of week. By gee, there's been some stuff happen this week. My goodness. Jordan, I'll go to you first. Yep. Because obviously that's top 5 result. That gives you solid confidence going into Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. I mean, obviously it worked out much more favourably for you that it was a dry race tonight. The prospect of weather next week, though, how do you feel about potentially driving in the rain at Road America?
I definitely need some practice. I was caught off by it tonight. But it was... I like the wet. I say I like the wet. I normally do well in the wet. But I know it's always one of those risky things. But if it comes, I'll just try and lock into my go-kart days from a near decade ago, and and just try and remember how to drive something in the wet, and that's normally what I have to lock back into when I come to the wet and iRacing. But we'll see. Milwaukee Mile, I think, will be fun. I've got a mate that only lives like a kilometre or two away from that track as well. So I don't know, maybe he can give me some insights on how to drive it as well on iRacing.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll wait and see. Let me ask both of you a question here with regards to this. Because next week, GT1, same venue, right? So same format. One race for GT1, one race for Indycar. Does the fact that it's at the same circuit help you both in terms of your preparation for the night, or does it matter? Is it circumstantial because the cars are so different? Start with you, Greg.
I honestly don't think it's going to help at all, because the GT1s, you don't have the added downforce that the IndyCar has. Yeah, okay, both the cars don't have traction control. Well, sorry, I rephrased. The GT1 has traction control, doesn't have ABS. The IndyCar has neither. So I think that's probably the only thing between the two of them that's actually in common, because the closing speed on corners in the IndyCar is ridiculous. But you're obviously a lot lighter, you've got downforce, and the brakes actually work. Whereas if you put your foot on the brake too quickly in the GT1 and you're approaching the corner at the wrong speed, or you miss it ever so slightly, you're just pinched and you're going long through a corner, or worst case, up the back of something in front of you. At least with the IndyCar, you could potentially still maybe jink out of the way or mitigate the damage by being able to actually pull it up because the brakes work better.
Jordan, your thoughts?
I think Greg nailed it. Yeah, the only thing you'll know is where the corners go, but most of us have done enough laps around Road America. We know which way the circuit goes. But yeah, there's not really much you can gain from driving the GT1 and IndyCars at the same place. They're two total different calibers of a car to drive. You mean you got the whole push to pass and everything in this, where GT1s they're just so raw, and yeah, like Greg said, you lock up that little bit too much and you're done. Like, absolutely, you shaft yourself and that's it.
Yeah, all right, very nicely done. I'm not sure there's much else to add to that. I feel as though we're all due for an early mark tonight compared to last night.
I'm not staying for 6 hours.
No, absolutely not. I need sleep. I've got to be up. I've got to be up at daybreak on Sunday, so I do need a good night's sleep tonight, because I'm definitely not getting one tomorrow night. Hey,
I finished packing a car for tomorrow.
Oh, where are you off to for the weekend?
We're doing the Portimao 1000 tomorrow.
Right.
215, I think, laps of Algarve, so that's going to be fun.
At what time?
Tomorrow, 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, thankfully.
That's all right. Yeah, that's easy. That'll just take you into the night. You'll be fine.
They're only normally about 6 hours long, I think.
Yeah, but I think we've worked out it's about 6.25 hours, I think.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's about right. 1,000-kilometre races usually tend to run for So 1,000 kilometres Portimao Saturday, and some of us are of course involved in the 1,000 on Sunday around somewhere far closer to home. So looking forward to that immensely. Speaking of closer to home, geez, what a week this has been. We'll cover off a few final finishing fast facts in just a few moments' time. We do have a bit of housekeeping to do, gentlemen. Stay there with me. I'm going to get a final thought from you in a moment. Joe, can we go in the direction of the GT1 Championship standings, because they're ready to rock and roll now, please?
I certainly can.
Adam Funslow has lost his championship lead, as we might have well predicted. Andrew Dyson back to the top of the summit, and he won the round as well, and he won it by 7 points, qualifying being the point of difference there. And also, obviously, incident points, fastest laps, most positions gained, all those boxes that he bloody ticked along the way. He didn't miss too many along the way. 107 played Daniel Evans, who's now moved up to 16th in the championship on 193 for the night for Adam Funslow, goes second. In the points race, it was a 5-point deficit going in. It's a 9-point profit going out for Andrew Dyson. 522 plays, 513, 485 for Thomas Sinner, 453 for Adam Lavis, and Brendan Grosh, 421. There are now just 3 Chevs in the top 10. with Doug Gowans not being here tonight. He's dropped out. Rodney Gollan finds his way into the top 10. So does Greg Heaney up into 9th. Richard Brookfield is 7th. Martin Davis 6th. And have a look who's 8th. Pianazola is 8th. Very nicely done. Very good stuff. 378 points in all of that 7th and 10th tonight. Not too bad at all. 522 plays 360, so your difference is 162, 1st to 10th at the moment. And as I said, 7 Aston, 6 in the top 6, 7 in the top 10, and 3 Chevs. Right, we've got some paperwork to sort out from last night as well, ladies and gentlemen. The Porsche Cups and the Formula V. Let's go with the Formula V updated point standings. Firstly, round honours went the way of... He's done it again. Sam Chapman won the round last night on 139 points. Adam Lavis was 3rd for the round on 134 points. And Alex Borgersrud on 136 points. 5 points separated 1st and 3rd for the round last night. It was absolutely scintillating stuff. And Borgersrud's moved his way up into 16th. 746 for Lavis, extends the lead out to 54 on Michael Adams, 692. Look who's 3rd, 663 for Pianazola, 646 for Chapman, and 566 for Dan Brinker, who, I'm not sure if he and Jordan have kissed a mate up yet, but that's okay.
You'll need dinner first.
It's all right. We can double date with me and Greg.
That's right. Yeah.
We're squared up, Joe.
565 for Harrison Denbrink, for Thorn Wiggett, rather. 559 for Joel and Hansen. 540 for Hilton Booth. 526 for Greg Heaney. 505 for Ryan Tate. 241 points covering the top 10 at the moment. And there are still 12 races to go in that series. Porsche Cup. 2 splits to run through here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty Rankin retains the lead in the pro split, the elite split, 548, and he's extended it out. 462 on Michael Vocci, 454 for Luke Page, Ben Pedersen 445, 437 for Sam Chapman, Adam Lavis 420, and Jeff Adams 402. Corey Lazarus, that's not going to change. He sold the rig, 391, 374 for Wiley Blair, and 369 for Jonathan Akers. So what's that? 179 the margin between 1st and 10th at the moment. And Rankin's advantage is out to 86. So yes, that's a good night out for Scotty Rankin with a view to retaining his place at the top of the leaderboard. I'll go to the open split in just a moment. Breaking news from Perth, Freo. Wow, 4 gold winners in the end. 16-16, 112 over Adelaide, 13-10, 88. I said, didn't I, about an hour ago, that they hadn't kicked into 5th or 6th gear yet. They wound the wick up. They win by 4 goals. Very nicely done. Open split for the Porsches. Let's have a look at that now for you. Wade Sheedy retains the lead there despite losing the race last night. Big vault up the order for Jordan Pianazola to narrow that gap to 68 points to the leaders and 20 points to second. So Paul Wilson retains second. But Pianazola's charging. Have a look at that. 590 plays, 542 plays, 522. No change last night despite the fact that Wilson was 4th and Sheedy was 5th in that second race, and Pianazola with a double take a small divot out. 471 for Stephen Gallacher, swap places with Edward Rollo. 447, 442 for Luke Vagan, Liam Amos, 439. Jacob McIntyre, 432 and 392 points for Jason Tim, and 369 for Todd Suter rounds out the running order. 221 points covers the top 10 there. At the moment, round honours went the way of Pianazola over Sheedy and Wilson. So the top 3 remain the 3 to match, the 3 to beat in the points race at the moment, in a round-by-round capacity, not just because of the positions on the points table there. That's a round and a championship statement more than anything else, ladies and gentlemen. Very good stuff. A lot of fun had throughout the course of the evening. Jordan, who would you like to thank?
You for your great work, as well as Joe for rocking up
Anytime.
for 6 and 6, which is what we love.
Yes.
So he definitely deserves a shout out as well. But yeah, I said this throughout some of last night. But yeah, all of the guys at Skidmark Sim Racing, 116 Works, and Matthew's Unsafe Safe Space. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe my dad for bringing me here today, and the canteen ladies, and the officials. Nah, I don't know. That's about it for me.
Any comms work for you over the weekend, or are you kicking the feet up and relaxing?
I'm down at Colin Grove, or up at Colin Grove, sorry, technically, which is
I like
should be
that.
great.
Yep.
Because obviously, yeah, they're getting the a potential upgrade soon. I don't know when that will, potentially be in the works, but I think they've already been granted the money by the local council and all of that. So that'll be great to see the hill climb community just get a little bit more, behind it, and see where it goes for Colin Grove, because I think they even want to do like an outdoor cinema and stuff there. So seems to be good. But that's where I'll be for the weekend, and then I think I've got go-karting or something in some of the other weeks coming up. But yeah, that's about that.
Oh, very nicely done. And that Colin Grove update, or upgrade rather, is one of several topics that we covered between 11:30 p.m. and 4 a.m. this morning. I'm already briefed on that, which is really, really good. Greg, any thank yous from you?
Well, obviously, thanks to everybody here at the Gents for putting on the broadcast, and obviously Joe and yourself in particular for tonight. And thanks to all the guys that back at the team that turn up and just for the races here and there, and thanks to all the sponsors. So obviously got we're still running with Disruptive Labs on the car. So thank you very much to Richo for that, and hope he's on the mend after the news we got the other day. So he's unwell again. So hopefully he's on the mend at the moment. Pantech from Mitch Wood. We've got CPM tag and testing with Callum there, one of my mates. And thanks to Will Yarwood from Project X for putting it on the car as well. And I just want to come out today. Will's actually been out at the Brisbane Jamboree, out of the drags out there, and I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but his new little pocket rocket of Corolla has already got its first trophy.
And not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. He doesn't do things. He doesn't do things half-assed as our mate Will Yarwood. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely not.
Very
good. To bring home a winner's trophy with that little U-Butte pocket rocket already. So he's doing well. Hopefully we'll see him on track again soon.
I hope so. In the virtual world, because we're obviously already seeing him on the track in the real one. Now, just one quick comment from you, Greg, because obviously, really, at the end of the day, we should be thanking you because you're the anchor of the ship, so to speak. But I was mentioning to the boys last night, there's a couple of observations going on in the Porsche Cup at the moment. One, there's a total disdain for that car across the board, right? There's a lot of people that are just persevering with it and signing up to be frustrated on a Thursday night. And no more evidence of that required than the comments that Zach White passed on to me after the Pro Series on Wednesday night. I've never seen a bloke that's just won a race so dejected with the whole landscape. He's not enjoying that car. He described it as a bag of dicks. His words, not mine.
Did you check the time before you said that?
Trust me, it's well enough for him.
I know, but I mean, normally we get a pre-warning by Zach.
Yeah, no.
Hang on, no. It depends on if it was Queensland or not.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, no.
Bingo.
Do you want to get down? Let's not go down that path. I've still got to get to the other stuff that I've got to take care of, politically speaking, this evening.
And Joe's probably still going to go get some food at some point.
And Joe's got to have some dinner, so we're going to wrap this up very, very shortly.
Sleep.
No. Joe is going to enjoy his sleep tonight, and as am I, actually. However, yes, it's interesting, right? So to bring it back to the Porsches, they're signing up for it because they know that's where the competitive spaces at the moment in Australian sim racing. There's a sense of frustration with regards to it. However, the most pleasing thing from a club standpoint, mate, I would have to say, and I'm interested to see whether you are meeting me halfway and agreeing with me on this or not. It's so pleasing to see that everybody's signing up for the test and sticking with it this term. Like, there's been a big turnaround and a resurgence in the Porsches that I probably was not expecting. I was lining up, getting ready to, give it a nice, comfortable burial partway through last term when we're getting single digits in the Pro Split in the Elite Series and not much better in the Open. But the field's at halfway, still in the mid-20s in the Elite, towards 30 in Open. Real pleasing turnaround for that series from a club standpoint.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, look, we haven't yet started within the committee started talking about what's in for next season yet. I think we're going to probably start looking at that at the next meeting.
Formula V.
We know, but we're also thinking of you, Zach. Like,
yeah, thank you. Yes.
Unless you've got a checkbook written out to Strepsils already, or you've got shares in the company. One of the two. But look, to be honest, with the turnout of the V's, there's every chance that they'll stay.
Yeah.
And who knows, Indianapolis might make the list.
That's it. On the oval, that was recommended last night. Actually, that was put in the comments.
Yes, I know.
Very good.
But yeah, no, look, the turnout for the Porsches has stayed pretty well strong. So we haven't yet, as I said, decided or started talking about it, so we don't know what's going to happen yet. I mean, if it is the elite of the elite of noticing some disdain for the car and so forth like that, I mean, that's their choice to feel that way about the car. To be honest, I actually don't mind it. I'm just not driving it this season. But each to their own. I mean, I find that, like, I was the one that nominated the Renault 3.5. Now, I hadn't driven it for I don't know how long. And then I've jumped in it with everybody else that's decided to jump in this season. And I'm like, yeah, my skill gap ain't up there. I'm miles off this. It's like, I'll have a couple of rounds and I'll see how I go. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm putting this away. However, that being said, we're still getting a draw card of 20 to 25 cars, and it's halfway through the season in a first up Monday night session. That is probably one of the best turnouts we've had for a while on a Monday 100%.
Night. 100%.
So, and then we're working on a teaser for the Tuesday nights for to be announced TBC, although I think Joe's already stuck his hand up saying I'll run it, so we've already got one thing squared away. But yeah, we're gonna have to work on some teasers for that and try and get some more cars in. If we can maybe see if we can't get a broadcaster and a commentator in for a Tuesday night on the last week of the season, because I think it might be definitely some shenanigans had with some FIA cross cars around the Winton Rallycross track.
Oh, you had me until you said. Actually, no. Winton's on its way out of its burial ground at the moment, so that's okay.
Yeah, but it's also, these are the little freebie cross cars that, if you put them on the the figure eight with the jump, you only just clear each other, and that was an absolute hoot. So we'll see how many we get this time with them, and yeah, if we can maybe see if we can't wrangle a broadcaster and a commentator to do something. That should be quite interesting.
Well, if it helps, not that I'd probably need to sign up to do 5 nights in that week, but if it helps, consider me locked in for a Tuesday night, only because A, it's grand final week, and B, my mates are going to Melbourne that week for the NFL. So they're not going to trivia. So Tuesday night's off the table. So it'll be a case of Monday night in the booth, Tuesday night in the booth, drive home some point probably on the Wednesday, do Wednesday night, do Thursday night, do Friday night, have a couple of weeks here, and then back to Cessnock again. So yeah, no, it's I'm happy to do the Tuesday night if you can make that happen.
Well, we'll see what we can figure out, and we'll let you know.
Righto, done. Your people will talk to my people. I look forward to that. That'll be great. Very nicely. Oh dear, what a day it's been. Right, so Joe, you've just cleared the books for tomorrow night. You've cleared your schedule. You're all in on the Lotus 79.
If I'm home, I'm definitely going to be. My youngest daughter apparently wants to go and buy a new car tomorrow, so I have to go to Perth.
Hey.
But hopefully, I'm going to be home in time. The Lotus 79 is one not to miss on the mountain.
I'm sure, given everything you've done for this club, that if you have to bump the goalpost back a little bit and start that a little bit later, I'm sure no one's going to moan and whinge about it. All right?
8 p.m. my time. We guaranteed, we did guaranteed a podium.
Absolutely, it would be. Very nicely done. Okay, let's summarise the day that was, because someone asked me about the cricket earlier. Bangladesh very much on top after 2 days in Darwin. It was their day yesterday, but they doubled down on it today. I have mixed views on this because if we're going to be totally and utterly fair dinkum about it, it's a great result for Bangladesh to be 6 for 351 and leading by 153 with 3 days to play. The Australians are going to have to try and put 700 on the board if there are any chance of overturning this. Bangladesh are in the box seat. Australia can probably best hope for a draw at this particular point in time because they've got to clear the deficit and then set a target. And based on what we saw in the first day's play and how they were loosely throwing their wickets away, I'm not terribly confident that that's going to get too far down the track. But what I will say is this. It'll be a wonderful thing for the game of cricket at large. It'll send shockwaves right around the world, but it'll be a timely reality check for the Australians before they go and take on the South Africans for 3 tests and then back here for 4 tests against New Zealand, then off to India for 5, where they'll probably lose 4. Because it's India, and then, of course, the Ashes in England for 5 as well. So Bangladesh in the box seat. Play continues 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning, or coverage from 10 a.m, play from 10:30 on the screens of 7 and Fox around Australia. As for the other news today, and I've got to give you a diplomatic take on this because we're on air still. But stick around, boys, because I'll provide you with the full colour once we get off air. The reality of the matter is, I mentioned last week the domino effect. You were with us on air when we broke the news about Formula RX8, saying, "No, we're not coming to QR." I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at QR today because apparently fireworks have hit the fan. But what we do know is that away from QR, the Winton 300. Formerly a staple of the ASA and Benalla Auto Club calendar. That's now going to be sanctioned by Motorsport Australia this year. The framework for that to happen was set up by Terry Denovan, who took the Sydney 300 over to Motorsport Australia at the start of this season. So all the 300s that run under ASA sanctioning last year are now going to be under MA sanctioning this year. And the Winton 300, that's just the straw that broke the camel's back because that firmly secures the fate of the ASA, dead and buried as far as the Benalla Auto Club is concerned, ending the relationship that dates back over 20 years. The ASA will never get back in at the Winton Motor Raceway as long as the current Benalla Auto Club crew are in charge. They have turfed them and said, no, we're not doing this crap anymore. So don't expect any ASA sanctioned events at that 3-kilometre Ned Kelly circuit in clothesline circuit, whatever you want to call it, in northeastern Victoria anytime soon. The knock-on effect of that, the Australian Super Truck Series have confirmed that they too are going to Motorsport Australia. That one was only rumoured a couple of weeks ago, but it's now been confirmed. And within that, Morgan Park, which last year hosted them on a ASA bill, a full weekend race meeting dedicated to categories up here running under ASA sanctioning, that event, that whole thing, that whole box and dice is now Motorsport Australia as well. So that's your daily hat-trick of the ongoing capitulation of the ASA. And I can't say I'm surprised because, as I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, I've been here for 3 years saying this ain't going to end well. And finally, people have caught up and realised that I might have been onto something and I wasn't just trying to settle vendettas. I mean, yes, I'm happy to see this idiot fall on his backside in a significant way. But it should never have been allowed to transpire over as long a period as it has. It should have been, they should have clamped down on this and ended this rubbish years earlier. The writing's been on the wall since 2023. So there's your update with regards to that. This weekend, final round of the Formula E season. As far as the motorsport's concerned, Indycar makes its debut in Markham, the Canadian round, which of course replaces Toronto. AFLW, FA Community Shield in football circles with the Premier League season only now a week or so away. NASCAR from Richmond Sunday morning as well, so make a note of that Sunday morning. The Pan Pac Championships continue. The Test match continues. The Gold Logie is awarded on Sunday night. TV Week Logie, 7 p.m. Eastern on 7. And as I said, Formula E from Great Britain, which you can see on Stan Sports. So that's what's going on in the real world. Including actually one more thing, the Wallabies in Japan tomorrow afternoon in Test match rugby, 2:30 Eastern on 9, and looking forward to that as well. Kick off at 3:15. What's going on in the virtual world? As I said earlier, 6:15 tomorrow night, the boys, Scott Rankin, Sam Mann, Stephen Clark, they take you through the V8 Pro Invitational shootout and qualifying for Sunday's 1,000. That's on air 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Good luck to all concerned, including our members that are lining up. You'll see it on SimSpeed and the Australian Sim Racing Group platforms, and looking forward to that immensely. I think even Speed Cafe are going to share the link on their page as well. So make a note of that. Because obviously we want to steer you in the right direction of some sim racing to watch whilst we're off air for the next couple of days. As far as we're concerned, Greg mentioned a moment ago, big thanks to Disruptive Labs, merch.tgsrci.com, Flash Graphics, Waste Options and Trophy AI, because without them, none of this happens. 26 seasons strong, and we're loving every piece of it. I said to the boys this morning that were sitting in here with me till stupid o'clock that it's the gift that keeps on giving. We got out of the scaredemic and all that rubbish. We thought, oh, yeah, we've had a couple of good years. Life will get back to normal. It was good while it lasted. None of us ever anticipated or envisaged the GSRC lasting 26 seasons, 7 calendar years. It has done so. It continues to go from strength to strength. Interest is through the roof, membership through the roof, and no one, as a result of never expecting it to last this long, we can mourn it, but we can't complain. At what point we draw, at whatever point down the track we draw the checkered flag on this thing. There's the merch store in the meantime. GSRCmerch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com. Grab your hats, your stubby holders, your bottle openers, your shirts, your jumpers, your singlets from the merch store. Get amongst it. I believe bingo cards are on the way as well, ladies and gentlemen, so that's going to be good fun. I think that's something that Josh Suno has been working on in the background. I have heard some chatter about bingo in the last couple of weeks. So, with that in mind, we've mentioned daylight saving, we've mentioned motorsport politics, so I think we've ticked all the boxes we needed to do tonight, which leaves me to do one thing, and that is to look ahead for you at what's coming your way. Lotus 79 tomorrow night, 10 past 8 Eastern, 32 laps to Journey Mount Panorama Bathurst. Good luck to all and sundry there. The Lotus 79, the car of choice. Next week, week 7, the critical week, at which the drop rounds get included into the equation. They get added to the matrix, and we get a better look at who the contenders and pretenders are across all the various different championships. Formula Renault 3.5 Circuit de Jerez. That's going to lead us off Monday night, 7:30 Eastern. Sprint racing for them too. So that's a nice way to end our trips to Spain as far as that championship's concerned. It's the third one of the season. We'll fly away from Spain after that and go and do something else for the next 3 weeks. Formula Renault 3.5, 7:30 Eastern. GT3, 8:30 Eastern, Indianapolis Road Course. Andrew Neil already looking forward to putting a line through this one and just moving on. He's not looking forward to Indy in the slightest. Platinum split feature, gold split sprint, and it's the third sprint round of the season. Only one more to follow that. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to your company there. So Jordan Pianazola is in action in race 1 there, ladies and gentlemen, in the Audi. Let's hope he has a far better run than what he did at Le Mans. Committee choice, Daytona International Speedway, the ARCA cars. 30-minute journey there, and that will be, I think it's 2 sprint last night. I saw two 30-minute sprint races.
I think it might be a 20 and a 30.
Something around there,
30 and a 40, something like that.
I have no idea because I'm not looking at the calendar matrix at the moment. I am now. I'm scrolling down. Week 7.
2:30-minute races.
Race 1 and race 2:30. Yeah, race 1 and race 2:30. Good to see, actually, on my Google Drive document, you're listed as Jody Baldwin at the moment, Joe. So there you go. So on that note... Daytona International Speedway, the ARCA cars, that will be a treat. 2 30-minute races. So sprint racing on your Tuesday night, and practice starts at 7 p.m. So the racing will be closer to 8 o'clock. Wednesday night. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm back with the boys on Wednesday night. I've missed Wednesday nights. I've been off doing other things, and this is a good doubleheader to come back to, particularly 40 minutes of BMW M2 racing at Lime Rock. How good's that going to be? Lime Rock, the Americans answer to Lakeside. 7:30 Eastern. Hope you can join us for that. I think Jordan will be in for that one, and then Harry Denbrinker take over to do the co-commentary with me as we head to Qualcomm. That I am looking forward to the feedback we get for that one already. The newest circuit in the sim racing universe, the Qualcomm circuit in San Diego, the naval base in Coronado. 40 minutes the journey there, 8:45 Eastern for the supercars. Thursday night, I'm not sure you'll top Motorsport, quite frankly, but we'll try. Second consecutive week of sprint racing in the Porsche Cup as well. That's from Interlagos. That's dessert. That's 8:45. Preceding it at 7:30. Formula V, VIR North. We're excited about that, and that's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then for the first and only time on a Friday night this season, the Friday night doubleheader, all roads lead to the same venue. The support category will be the GT1s. And they're going around there for 40 minutes from 7:30 Eastern. And then 32 laps of Indycar from Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin to follow from 8:45 Eastern. And Joe and I are fairly confident that we'll be 7 from 7 there as well. So it's been a good start of the season in that regard. We've loved bringing you the GT1 racing. We're delighted that we've been able to do so, considering that it was a maybe proposition at the start of the campaign. But thankfully, commitments at Joe's end have allowed us to facilitate a doubleheader on a Friday night, 6 from 6 so far. That is it from us. We are done on what has been a massive day as part of a massive week, and it's not done yet because, as I said, the ASRG Bathurst 1000 headlines a big weekend of sim racing in this part of the world. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Well done to Ethan Morris, back in victory lane, his 5th win of the season. And before that, Andrew Dyson continuing to towel up the competition in the GT1 Civil War, as he has done right from the outset. On behalf of all the broadcast commentary and production team here, Joe Baldwin, Andrew Neal, our crew, and all the other guys that have contributed across the course of the week, many hands making light work. I'm Zach Caban. Go out and enjoy your weekend, everybody. Hope to hear from you. We'll see you tuning in on Sunday for the 1000. We'll be back on Monday night for the 4th last week of the campaign. A critical week, a vitally important week, at which point all the drop rounds get added into the mix and we get a better picture of what things look like going into the business end of the term. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thanks for your company tonight. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And until we see you on Monday, I'm Zach Caban. It's bye for now.